Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brewbuilt Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brewbuilt line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brewbuilt Conicals. You can trust Brewbuilt with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brewbuilt at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you by More Beer, the makers of the all-new Ultimate Conical Fermenter. Check them out today at morebeer.com.
Great beer is about drinkability. Doesn't matter the style.
You guys are like walking beer Wikipedia. That's the first time that you've ever accepted me as a person.
Or you have a fermentation in your gut.
I'm jet propelled at all times.
How many guys do you think that you have the privilege to slap?
Somebody who's never tasted a commercial example, and this is how you know everything about this beer? Please, you don't.
I think that's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit too.
Wow. Are you guys going to arm wrestle?
No.
We're going to teabag fight. Yeah. You heard of Junkyard Wars?
Can I get another high five, Beavis?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Well, all right. Welcome to The Session, everybody. Another great show here from the beautiful downtown Martinez area of California.
I like the way you say another great show before we've even done it.
Yeah, well, I'm optimistic, and why don't we do a positive show today? We don't have JP on the air with us today. We should be positive all day long.
No, we shouldn't.
No, we'll encourage each other, and we'll tell each other how good they're doing.
But we're not doing that good. Screw all of us.
Moscow.
I'm doing good.
Moscow's sitting in JP's chair.
Maybe it's something about the chair.
It must be that vortex right there, just sucking him right down.
No, it isn't.
Susie, what do you think?
I think he's filling in for JP is what he's doing.
Should we encourage each other and be nice?
I like encouraging. I'm having a great weekend, so it's...
Are you?
Susie got laid.
Giggles, of course.
I think it's a little better than getting laid for Susie. If I'm remembering correctly, the Susie's Homebrew Club won California State Homebrew Club of the Year. Yeah. Along with the Greenbelt Brewers, right? What's with the tie? What is this?
I don't
fucking
know.
Little League?
It's the first time in 29 years that they tied, but it's okay. I love Greenbelt. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They make good food. They make good beer. They're so much fun. So I think their dynamic works really well with our club. So when we have that luncheon or dinner that they're putting on for us, it's going to be awesome.
So is Greenbelt my friend Danny Deneen's club?
It is. Yeah. It's Danny and Eve Deneen's club.
Oh, it's their club? All right. Well, then I'll accept the tie.
Susie's also running for office.
Are you?
What?
But the way she's all politically all good.
Sounding, right.
You know, it's all good.
Trying to get out of office right now.
They're way better than him.
I'd vote for Suze in whatever office. She got nice tits.
There you go.
You know? And she's a nice lady.
It's too good.
Yeah.
It's a too good thing.
Someone yesterday told me that I couldn't be a home brewer because I was cute.
Well,
really? You mean there aren't any?
You know, in general, that person makes a good point.
We were standing there, and he's like, "Yeah, it's an ugly crowd, huh, bartender?" I'm like, "What do you mean, ugly crowd?" He's like, "Well, you know, not you, honey, the home brewers." I'm like,
right, the rest.
I'm like, I'm a home brewer.
Well, congratulations on the California State Homebrew Club of the Year.
Woo-hoo, thanks.
Yeah, you guys have been really coming up in the world the last couple of years.
Yeah. I know.
Getting it together and organizing.
I run that thing. Like, I crack the whip.
Are you the president? Or you're like you just pull the strings behind?
I'm trying not to be an officer anymore.
I see.
But I keep
But you
getting
still-
sucked in, and I control everything.
Every time
You control
I try
freak.
to get out. That's my impression. It's good. How was it? It's not like I'm dying. I don't even sound anything like Marlon Brando.
Susie, did your beer help the cause, or are you just kind of on the administrative side? Is your beer placing?
Shane's beer placed. He took home 3 ribbons yesterday, 2 seconds and a third.
Is Shane's beer is your beer all of a sudden? Now you guys are one?
They're one.
You don't even live together, but now you're one? Now your beer is
I'm
the
not
same?
claiming it as mine. He's a great brewer.
I
I brew
see.
my own. He brews his own. We brew together sometimes.
But Shane kicks some ass.
He kicks so much ass.
I think
He's
you're
like
quite-
better than me in hockey and in brewing. I'm better
Well,
than
he's a
him in
man.
wearing dresses and cooking. You know, we balance each other out.
That is a good balance.
Let's go back to the original question, Susie.
What?
How's your beer doing?
Did you have any beer that helped win the... No. But I have a feeling that your motivation and your motivational speaking helped win for your club. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Happy endings for everybody who gets a medal? Was
Hell
that
yeah.
part of the deal?
I need to motivate them somehow.
Incentive.
Why do you think my club's so happy? Called WOW for a reason.
Right.
I'm surprised they have they're even brewing, like they have enough energy left.
You know, Doc was president of Doe's for a while, and I told him, I said, listen, if you want to see this club win, you'll offer happy endings for every time they medal. And I don't know what happened from that. All I do know is that Doe started kicking some ass. So it could have been my advice, or I don't know. It's something else. I'm not sure.
Hey, I'm not talking.
Right.
You
Not
know,
giving
it-
away secrets.
Those records have been sealed for 50 years.
Right. I love it. All right. Well, congratulations, Suze. That's pretty badass.
Thank you. I'm really proud of them.
Do you guys get to do the big Anchor Steam event now? Don't
Yes.
they invite the California Homebrew Club of the Year every year to come and have a big party at Anchor?
Yeah, so it'll be in February. I think it's around the same time as SF Beer Week.
Okay.
And we're going to be sharing it with Greenbelt.
Nice.
So it'll be fun.
I might go to that. I haven't been able to go in a while because I think it's always on a Sunday. It's always when we have the show. Doc often goes and then shows up here after having a good time.
Yeah, it's nice.
Maybe I'll try to go with you guys this year. It sounds fun. Well, congratulations. That's really good stuff. And another good news, Tasty was at Russian River this week, rebrewing some more Janet's Brown. How did that go?
It went well.
2 batches?
2 batches. We had to get there like at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, yeah. You should have just stayed the night before. And
We thought about that. We definitely did.
Yeah.
But
did you go with Chad and Randy?
yeah, Chad and Randy were there. We pulled them out of their day jobs.
How's Chad doing?
Chad's doing well. You know, he's, I guess, stuck at the bar there or something. I don't know. He's
Was he still the same old Chad, or were you able to
he's
communicate with him?
changed. Yeah, enough. Yes. But I know where you're going. I know what you're thinking.
I see.
He has changed quite a bit.
He's grown up, hasn't he?
He's still the same old Chad.
That's good.
Yeah, he's just more
Love that
responsible.
kid. He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got things to do, and he's
I don't know
got
what that's about, but
got a lady to please.
yeah,
you know.
yeah, she likes responsible guys.
I see.
He likes doing what she wants, so that's good.
How about
That
we
match
get
made
it-
in heaven.
We get him fired, and then we can have our old Chad back.
Right. We just want poor guy, so we can have. We'll be happy, but he'll be poor
Right.
and working for the Brewing Network again.
Yeah.
Right now, he's happy and not poor, and we're selfish. We just want him to ourselves.
Yeah.
So
we brewed. We had because he got rid of all of his smaller fermenters. He used to have a couple of 20 barrel fermenters that we do the Janet's Brown into because I don't know, but he got rid of all those just because he needed to make more beer. So this time we had to do 2 18 barrel batches.
Oh, I see.
So we had to do 2 dough ins and 2 mash outs.
Will this only be a draft beer?
I think about a dozen or so kegs I'll be able to send here and there.
Okay,
But mostly close to.
and not bottles though.
No bottles.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
never going to do that.
Yeah,
Although he promised it, but
yeah. Well, he's got to brew
Vinny
that.
reneged.
Got to do that in
Vinny-
the big system.
Yeah, Vinny reneged. You heard it here.
You know, I saw Vinny at the Great American Beer Festival, and he wants to come back on the show.
Oh, yeah.
He says he's due. And Natalie, by the way, his wife and partner, was like, hey, I've never been on the show. And I said, Natalie, this is not by my own fault. I've told Vinny every time, please bring Natalie on the program. And so I think the next time they do the show, we're gonna get them both.
That'd be good.
They'd be glad to be here.
As fun it is to have Vinny on the show, I think we'll all be excited to interview Natalie.
Oh, yeah, she'll do all the talking if they're both here.
She's a lot of fun.
We meaning you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a lot of fun. So, and we'll ask about why Janet's Brown, why we haven't seen that in bottles yet.
Yeah, ask him. I used to remember me saying that he promised that would happen.
Sure. Oh, I'll bring it up, Tasty. Don't you worry.
So he owes me.
Yeah, he does owe you.
Definitely.
We'll talk about it.
So we brewed the beer, which went, right off the bat, there was some problem with the silo because we're brewing at the pub. That's the 20-barrel system.
Okay.
And but they get the base malt from the main brewery outside of town because they have a silo there, right? So they filled this big tub with the base grade, and
which is what, just American two-row?
Yeah, raw, basically.
Okay.
Right. Well, there was some problem with the silo the day before. I don't know, something about it being fluffy or something. Whatever that means. Anyway, there wasn't enough base malt, so he used more of, or used some sack malt of, like some a different variety, like a Maris Otter style malt.
So it wasn't even just your plain American two-row.
Yeah, well, what we had, the base, it was like 50% that, and then about 21% of this other malt, this Maris Otter style.
I see.
Malt.
Interesting. So you're not sure.
The beer's going to be different. So also, then we missed our gravity somewhat. We were like over a little bit on the first batch.
Could have been that Maris Otter.
Then we just adjusted that in the second batch. Took some of that Maris Otter out.
Huh. So we'll have actually two different batches to taste.
No, they both went in the same fermenter.
Oh, they did. I see.
So it's like they're blended together. So we were able to adjust the first by adjusting the second.
Now, did you make any adjustments to the hops or anything else based on the fact that you didn't have all of the two-row you expected to have? Did you decide, okay, well, because we're using this second kind of Maris Otter or something, we better up the hops or anything? Did you do anything like that?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Vinny didn't, but I did.
But you did.
Well, because he described them all as adding a lot more dextriness, more body to the beer.
Okay.
Which he's using in some of his other beers, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway. So I thought, well, maybe we should make it just a little bit more bitter. So we just added a little bit more at the 60-minute hop.
Okay. Just to cut. Because a mouthfeel dextriness is fine, but you didn't want it to end up sweet.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
I'd rather be too bitter than too sweet.
What is the bittering hop on that beer?
Northern Brew.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If it can be bitter, you have to use a lot.
So how do you guys decide who's right? Your little thumb.
Well, he wasn't there, first of all.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Vinny's not there, so Tasty decides that Tasty's right.
Yeah.
Tasty's right.
Well, that is the cool thing, actually, about the relationship that you have with Vinny now, and particularly with this beer, is that he lets you do your thing, doesn't he?
He does.
It's your beer.
Yeah.
He's happy to brew it.
Yeah, he just gives us the outline. He doesn't care what.
Yeah. It's gonna taste great, and it's gonna sell, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah, it sells. It's gonna sell for a long time. It's gonna be there. He said he hopes to be pouring it during the younger release, which I think is
first
of February.
Yeah,
very cool.
Well, he also wants to do. This is his idea, and I haven't talked to you about this. He wants to do a Janus Brown Ale only homebrew competition. Where
really?
Yeah, there'll be a competition.
He wants to do it there,
basically under his sponsorship or wherever it's done.
This is a great idea.
You think it is?
Well, I think he better be ready for the amount of work it's going to be. I mean, people love to brew that beer.
A lot of people think they're pretty good at it, and they are.
Yeah, and if you open up a Janet's Brown homebrew competition,
right,
you're going to get some entries, man.
Yeah, I think we'd get quite a bit. It'd be a lot of fun. And we haven't talked about a grand prize, but it sounded like it could be as much as flying people out to brew it on the system there or something like that.
Oh, it's cool, man.
There's so many people that have nailed this.
Oh, yeah. It's people's competition-winning beer.
Oh, it's going to be tight competition.
Well,
there's of course, he's saying, okay, well, we're just talking over beer. And he's going like, yeah, we'll get a first, second, and third guys, and then we'll take the beer that we brew here, and then your home brew, and then we'll match them all together. Like, I have to put my beer up against these three great beers that these guys made. Well, wait a minute.
What if you come?
I'm going to come out fifth in this deal. That's a lose-lose situation. I told him.
You know what you guys should do? You should announce you're going to have a Janet's Brown homebrew competition, and then don't release any details about that competition, and just leave all of California hanging.
Right.
That's the whole thing. I got it.
It's kind of how we roll around here.
That's how we do it.
That's what we did with our kid.
Yeah. Well, that's the reality of it. As he's telling me this, I'm going like, who now is going to? I mean, it's a lot of work to put on a homebrew competition, even a small one.
Right.
There's a lot of logistics you got to handle. I've done them, but anyway, I don't think he's not going to let this go. He's been talking about this.
Can you limit it to
years.
a number of entries?
I don't know how do you do that? Like, you have a short window, and make it hard to get it in on time.
Well, you can have them pre-register in like the first 500.
Oh, I see.
Whatever
We can limit it, sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to get nutty.
I couldn't imagine how many people would Well, of course, it'd be a tough competition to win, right? Say there's 50 of the same recipe, basically. Well, if you can be first amongst that'd be pretty crazy.
Right. You'll have to be a judge, you know.
Of course, yeah. That's a lot of responsibility.
Right. You don't like to judge. You like to cellar and kind of stand aside. No, you're going to have to work on this one.
Yeah, see, that's another reason I don't like it. It's the work.
Yeah, well, the old taste buds.
Anyway, Vinny's not going to let it die, obviously, so this may happen.
All right, well, we'll have to talk to him about that and see if we can get involved.
Oh, no, he wants us involved. He says, oh, yeah, we do a lot of this on the show, he's saying.
Okay.
Oh, definitely wants
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get them in here soon, and I'm glad you got to go brew another couple batches.
It's always a great honor.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing it on tap at your different coming out parties that you like to have once
mini tours.
Once it's brewed.
How can we find out where they are?
You'll be here.
Right here.
Follow me on Facebook, and I'll let you know.
Good.
I'll be there.
Mills wrote in from the chat room. You know, he's going to be on the show, actually, in December.
Oh,
cool. He's a pro brewer now. He wants to make sure that Janet's Brown will still be on tap for him.
It will be on, all December, all January.
That'll be fine. Okay. All right. Looks like I have JP on the line. JP, what's happening, buddy?
Hi, friend.
How's it going over there?
It's good, man. That's good. How are you guys doing in the studio?
Yeah, you know, it doesn't smell like Kauschwitz, so we're not on Highway 5.
We're more on the malty side. We don't have enough IBUs.
Yeah.
Hence your bitterness.
Well, if I know you guys well enough, it'll smell like butt either way in a couple hours.
That's true. How did the Disney Friends in the Lands with Blobberglop go?
It went pretty well. Not a lot of people showed up, which is fine with me. I didn't want to be like tour guide, but it was cool. Blobber came with his little kids, his little Blobber kids, and there were these towheads running around. Everything was fine. They had a good time. Blobber seemed to have a great time, and Bevo actually came, and Terrence, and they brought their brood, and Warren Beardy came from Heretic Brewing Company.
Yeah.
A couple listeners, Matt Ellis showed up, and Chad McNichols.
More importantly, how is Blobber's wife? Because she looks hot in the photos.
She's a pretty lady, for
Really?
sure.
Yeah.
Blobber's got a hot wife.
And is she cool, or what do you think?
Yeah, she was real cool. She was quiet.
Okay.
Just the way you like them.
Yeah. Looking and quiet. I don't know if it was the language, if how much English she really knew, or if she was just uncomfortable with, 85 beer guys around her or not. But
right.
It was neat. She let Blobber, hang out with us at night and drink some beers and have a good time. And it was a lot of fun. You should have been there.
Did he share? Was he willing to share her with you? I mean, you're kind of a big deal,
Well, we didn't talk about it so much. We tried to do a series of hand signals behind her back, but she was too smart for that.
I see. Well,
she probably recognizes the shocker from a mile away.
Yeah, right.
It's the same in every language.
You didn't know the French, which is you don't wash your hands first.
Right. Well, I'm glad you had fun at Disneyland. What else is happening?
Well, the good news is, I saw the Backstreet Boys perform at Disneyland.
Wow.
And you got all their autographs?
I didn't get I didn't have my autograph book on.
Damn.
How much of how much of the original lineup is it?
I think it's everybody.
Is it really? I feel like they all went on to great success, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, but when Disney wants you to headline their holiday special, you don't say, no, I have to produce this C-list, album coming out for someone else that you've never heard of.
Right. How was the show? Did they play all their hits?
They were playing one. It was for Disney for the Christmas special for ABC. So they didn't do it. I don't know if they did their song, but they did some Christmas song, and it was real weird because it was 85 degrees out, and they all came out in sweaters and scarves and shit like that.
Right.
Remember, guys, it's supposed to be real cold, and people are in tank tops and shorts. It's real good.
It's California.
Isn't Justin Timberlake in the Backstreet Boys?
No, that was
98 degrees.
No, NSYNC.
Oh,
yeah. I think
Moscow.
Whatever.
I mean, according to my album,
he does have all the autographs.
I just wikied it real quick.
All right.
That's what Terrence was saying. I'm like you don't have their full color photo on your wall still, dude. High school, come on.
Yeah. Little Backstreet Boys. Is this
one of the hits?
Did they play this for you?
Oh my god.
Nice, Susie. You're wet, aren't you?
JP's not holding the phone up to his ear anymore. Now he's got the lighter in the air.
Yeah.
Driving with one hand.
I mean, this is where they really brought it home, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were
Sorry?
I think this is where they were peaking for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of coming to Disneyland with you guys and doing a bunch of E and watching the Backstreet Boys, too.
Is there any other way? Come on.
Right. Me and Mickey, I would become a furry, I think. If I was on E and I saw Mickey, I'd become a furry quick.
What would be your furry?
Probably Goofy. Fuck it.
Really?
Well, if you're going to go furry, you might as well go gay while you're at it. You know? Yeah, anybody follow my logic? Anybody else follow where I don't know.
I think it'd be a good choice because he has those real long ears and they're very soft.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. He must have a big schlong.
Rubbing an ear on
He's a dog.
He's got a big red schlong then. Fine.
There you go, Red Rocket.
Retractable.
Yeah.
Red Rocket.
All right, well, I hope you're driving safe, JP.
Yeah, and so far it all sounds totally satisfactory reason for why you're not here.
Right.
Yeah, well, I got a late start in the day. I still have 2 hours to drive, so.
Oh.
Okay.
One of those, Dad helped Blobber do some shopping for his kids, and just the time change fucked us up, and next thing I know, it's 1 o'clock, and we're like, oh. And I stopped and got some beer from our friends at Eagle Rock for the studio, but I wasn't able to be out of there in time. So, sorry.
The time change is a terrible excuse because you actually gained an hour.
Yeah.
Except it's also terrible because he's 35 years old.
Change?
He's like,
so I was going on that and I had to do the math in my head while I was trying to do 2 other things. So
except that it's also entirely bullshit because the time-telling device that we all use, which is our telephone, updates automatically nowadays.
Yep.
So he woke up and he looked at the correct time.
No, I'm picturing him twisting his analog Mickey Mouse watch.
He's like, I didn't know the time change, except that's what my clock said.
I didn't say that I didn't know the time change. I didn't say that. I said it messed me up.
Oh. Well, how does it mess you up if you don't know that it changed?
If you're going to make fun of me, at least get it right.
I still don't get it. How does it mess you up if you know that it changed?
But I had to look at it and just do the thing. So I thought I was rushed for time, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it changed. And then I let the lack of a firm ETA get away from me. And so I'm like, oh, I have time. And then next thing I know, I was actually running behind.
I feel like I'm listening to a presidential debate where they say a lot of things.
Should I fact check this?
But none of them say anything.
Well, hey, if you like me as much as Obama, then that's a good thing.
No, I like you less, and I don't think that's possible.
Oh, talk.
I'm presidential material, is what you just said.
I'm pretty sure that is what he said, JP. That's it. I like JP's interpretation. It's good.
Oh.
Well, hey, listen, the show means nothing compared to making sure that Blobber Glop's kids got the right gift before going back to America's hat. So I think you probably made the right decision.
I think so, too. I mean, dude traveled 3,000 miles, He had to travel a day and a half to get out here, man. So I was like, hey, help the guy save a bunch of money on buying presents. I will help them out.
Right. I mean, forget the fact that he was there for 3 days. Make sure that you help him do that today before he goes back to Canada.
And, as long as you did something that his kids won't forget you.
Right.
Yeah. Ever.
Right. Well, look, you want me to be a nice guy, then time I'm a nice guy, suddenly I'm not a nice guy.
It's true. JP can't win. He does a nice thing, and we're like, what an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I helped him a bunch of money. We were hanging out a little bit. He's a nice guy. I like Blobber. He came all the way out here for us to hang out with the guys from the Brewing Network. And, so it's the least I could do. I tried to make it out in time. I'm sorry I didn't do it. My fault.
Are you driving right now, or is Taryn driving?
The show was supposed to be on a Monday, by the way. But fuck both of you. I'm driving right now.
No, that was next week.
The calendar, I don't remember the calendar changing. I think the calendar's been the same all year.
It was always on Sunday. Next week, it kind of flip-flopped.
No. The last 2 meetings, I told both of you face-to-face, please have the non-scheduled show on the Monday. Yeah, no problem. Why? Because I'm out of town. Oh, yeah, great. What happened? Oh, hey, it's going to be on a Sunday. Awesome.
Oh, no, I counted you out weeks ago.
I don't know, the calendar for 2012 has been the same the whole time. It was always there.
No, today was never filled until last week when we had to reschedule Joe.
No, I figured you'd be high on Mickey even if you got back on Sunday.
Right.
You're just useless.
Right. Well, I mean, we all knew if you're going to Disneyland, that you count you out. It's Disneyland.
No, I figured you'd be staying at least until Tuesday.
All right. I mean,
I would, but Taryn has to work, so.
That bitch.
You know, get a new girlfriend.
And I have second night tomorrow night, so it's a full. So I have a world full of priorities. None of which.
And Mickey doesn't seem to be one of them.
Jip, the chat room wants to know how you're going to pick a Twitter winner this week if you're not here.
Well, I sent you and Scott the email with all the costumes, so I'll leave it up to you guys.
What about this week's Twitter winner?
This week's Twitter winner.
Don't we have a Twitter game first?
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, you got a Twitter game there, buddy?
Hey, I don't have a Twitter game. I'm sorry.
Can you call back?
Right now, JP's like, why did I call this fucking show? I don't know what I was thinking. I'm hearing his inner dialogue, and it all says, well, this was the stupidest thing I've done all week.
I mean, I go away for a vacation, and it's not really a vacation, let's be honest. I have to do work every single day, even on my stupid vacation. Because I'm too dumb for one of you guys to do it for me.
Right.
So I let a couple things slip. Sorry, there's no feedback. No Twitter game. Now I'm an asshole.
I'm still bitter about the feedback part.
Yeah, Doc's not happy.
I said, what?
Hey, Doc, next time I'll work harder on my vacation.
It's not like you've been gone all week.
Well, and also, vacation from what?
From couch.
Ouch.
From the couch.
Yes.
Did he say from the couch or ouch?
I think couch.
Ouch. No, from the couch. I need time to not sit on the couch so the divot rises back to normal.
Well, I did get your Twitter game photo, and as it turns out, we only had one entry into our Twitter game all week. Yeah, so
you were just supposed to say out of all of the ones that we got.
Oh,
thank you all for the great entries.
Although now, Tasty, you're a dog guy, so I gotta ask your opinion on this. Now, the photo that we got from Jeremy, also known as Hauncher Brew on Twitter, is of his dog in a costume. And I'm not a fan of putting your dog in a costume. The dog doesn't know what the goddamn costume is.
Not only does it not know, it doesn't want it.
And it doesn't want it.
It doesn't like it at all.
It never. Now, maybe if you got one of those little shitty dogs that you put a sweater on like 365 days of the year anyway, then it doesn't really bother it because you're already putting that shitty sweater on the dog.
Yeah, it's already resigned itself to a horrible life.
But most dogs, they don't. This dog, by the way, looks miserable.
Yeah, it really does.
Looks like you can't wait to get that thing off.
It's a pumpkin, and so it was our only entry. But I'm feeling like we asked for an entry of you in a costume, and you sent us this animal abuse. I don't think it's a winner.
I think it's disqualified.
Disqualified, right?
Yeah.
So, JP, what do you think? No winner?
Well, it's a lot.
Give him a silver medal.
On the show before, where there's no gold awarded in the category.
Yeah,
really,
right.
you pick a gold winner from the people who entered. It's like that.
It is like that's what I think Doc is saying too. That there is no gold entered into this year's Twitter Halloween category.
That's right.
So I don't even think there's a beer in that picture either. But it was the only one. I think I will send him a prize pack, not for winning, but for actually going through and help creating a bit on the show.
Right.
Because this is their show. This is a listener's show.
Well, that's fair.
If you don't participate, then the show sucks a lot like it does right now.
Well, that's fair. All right, you can give him a prize for participation. Just like Doc's kids get, for example, at Little League.
Yes.
If they do poorly, they still get a prize for participation.
Great message.
So, but just make sure you let Jeremy know that he did poorly. He's just getting a prize for
Hey,
participation.
Doc, here's your prize.
Just saying, the dog is kind of beer colored.
You're right.
He just looked happier.
Kind of amber.
It's just a bit amber, pale ale.
No, Justin, you have 2 dogs.
Yeah. I've never put a fucking... that's not true. I did put a sweater on the biscuit once. But she was cold.
Yeah, but of your 2 dogs, one you would never put something on. The other one, you don't care what... You dress them up as...
You're right.
A speed bump.
You're right. I dress it up as a speed bump and staple it down to the Safeway parking lot.
Yeah.
I hate that little shit.
I know.
So you do make a good point there, Doc.
It's all a costume.
What is he? He's a speed bump. Can't you tell?
Feel free to use him.
I love it. All right, well, JP, you'll have to send Jeremy a prize, please.
I will. I will do that as soon as I get home next week.
All right, brother. I'm glad you had a good time. Thanks for calling in, and drive safe, please.
Hey, thanks, and hope to see you guys real soon.
All right, Jipper. Later, man.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Boy, that call sure sucked.
I like that he calls. He's not just calling in sick. What other job, do you get to call in sick and call and talk to your boss on,
Yeah, you literally call in sick.
You call in, I like it. I
participate.
I value his contribution.
Yeah, you do.
That's awesome. All right. We got a great show for you today. Joe Castellute from Peachtree Brewing Company will be on the program. And he was supposed to be on the program last week, but we didn't get his beer in time. And now we've got his beer, so we feel, that we'll get drunker and possibly have a better interview with Joe as well. So we'll be talking to Joe in just a couple of minutes. A few announcements. We got merchandise in the store. If you haven't checked it lately, you should. We got a bunch of new hats and T-shirts, and there might even be a couple of lunch meat shirts left in there.
I was going to say, do you got the lunch meat shirts in?
There were, although JP said they were going fast, so I don't know if we have all sizes. But we've got them both in men's and women's sizes. And then all sorts of our different designs are in there. Plus, you can get the new IPA book by Mitch Steele, which is a fantastic book. There are yeast books in there, the Brewing with Wheat, all sorts of stuff. So check out the Brewing Network store if you haven't done it lately, and you might find something that you like. And speaking of shopping, if you do shopping on Amazon, you can do that through the Brewing Network just by clicking the Amazon link right there on our homepage. And then you do your shopping as normal, but they give us a little piece of your money. And if you're going to be spending it anyway, why not send it over to us? And a lot of you have been doing it lately, and we very much appreciate that. It goes a long way to pay the bills around here at the BN. What's our Amazon product of the week, Mosky?
The Dungeons and Dungeons fantasy role-playing game. An essential D&D starter.
JP had to be the guy.
That's what I think. But the reason I included it is because there were 4 purchased.
Really?
Yes. It's the same product, and it'll give you the quantity next to it, and the quantity for this one is 4.
Well, hang on now. I believe I asked JP last week who plays D&D, and I believe there were 4 of them. I bet he bought one for everyone.
Well, good for them. They clicked through Amazon. But I was thinking when I saw it, I was like, well, it's either 4 separate people or one person ordered 4.
There's no goddamn way. Is it possible that 4 separate listeners of ours all went and bought the D&D guide?
Seems unlikely.
To Dungeon Mastering or whatever it is?
What if they want to be cool?
The Dungeon Master.
That's a high percentage. That's disconcerting in a way.
It's got to be one person.
We need to get a different audience, I'm thinking.
Well, but there is also the possibility that it's a family full of nerds and someone is doing Christmas shopping.
Right. Well, that's why I say it's JP's buying it for his whole crew.
His nerd family.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Or it could have been JP's Dungeon Master who bought it for the whole crew. Let's be honest.
So, Justin, you never played D&D?
Never. I feel like I missed out or something.
Well, I did too. I came in. I'm a little older than that kind of thing. So,
right.
But I had roommates that had played it.
Well, and it was my age group, and I had friends that played it, but I...
was too busy getting laid?
That might have been... Well, I didn't get laid very much as a kid, I'll be honest, but I might have been too busy doing something useful. I don't know.
Grandma didn't have the basement.
Right. Yeah, I grew up in the desert. There were no basements. But no, I had friends that did it. I don't know. They spent time during the week building things for it and costumes, and I felt like you guys probably shouldn't talk to me about this stuff because it makes me think you're a douchebag.
Well, there are some through lines in this nerd world. Like, I've noticed connections with D&D and home brewing and Magic the Gathering, Texas Hold'em. There's weird through lines. Yes,
right.
It sounds
Texas
weird
Hold'em, yeah.
through these activities, but a lot of the people with these backgrounds will get involved in. And I love Hold'em and beer, but I think the D&D is the nerdiest thing in the world. But for some guys, they just love all of them.
Well, here's why.
I'll tell you, I would, unless this show I was on, I would never heard of LARPing.
Right.
Or furries.
Yeah, right. You're welcome. Yeah.
I'm more of a whole human being now.
Definitely more up to date on pop culture.
Yeah.
Or at least our version of it.
Right. Our limited version of it.
Yes.
I'll tell you what each of those things that you've just described has in common and why there's a string through them for people to participate. And that's that you can do each one on your own in the comfort of your own living room.
Yes.
You can play online poker. You can do D&D. You can build your character, or with like two of your friends. It's fun. See, all of them involve non-social behavior,
intensive individual activities.
Home brewing. You do it in your own backyard.
I'd say you're not judged, but that throws out a home brewing.
Right.
A lot of times, like, a chick will actually be interested, but it's a fat chick.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
Present company excluded, of course.
Right. All right. You can also get the Android and iPhone apps for this program, so you can listen on the go in the Android market and also iTunes just by searching BN Mobile. Watch all this live on justin.tv/Brewing Network. You can see the live studio cam. And finally, subscribe and join the BN Army. You're in the BN Army if you're a listener anyway, but if you're a recurring donor, you get entered into the More Beer donation giveaway, which enters you into a raffle each month to win $100 to spend at More Beer. And you just click the the recurring donation button on the donation page, and you're automatically entered.
Automatically.
You can find all these updates and more on Twitter and Facebook. Send show ideas over to Scott, the Jew. He's at scott@thebrewingnetwork.com. Send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com, although we don't have any feedback today. We already covered our Twitter game winner for today. He was more of a Twitter game loser. But
yes, we love loser this week.
But he will win a prize for participating, and that's Jeremy. Thanks for sending in the photo of your miserable dog.
All right. He did look miserable. Oh man, he's just like, are we done yet?
Poor dog's ready to chew off his own paw.
Yeah. And finally, if you're looking for a way to spice things up in the bedroom, don't forget to go over to adamandeve.com. You know, you can get 3 free adult DVDs with your order. You can choose from genres such as anal, amateur, Asian, big breast, big butts, bisexual, chunky, co-ed, fetish, gay, interactive point of view, lesbian, MILFs, and etc. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you can't find a DVD that you like at adamandeve.com, well, let's face it, you're a fucking freak.
You think there's Dungeons and Dragons themed porn? There has to be.
Yeah, one
they
can
have
only
like
hope.
all sorts of parody porn, so I'm pretty sure that there's got to be like Dungeons and Dragons.
What kind of
Not
porn
just
are you
dungeons.
into, Suze?
Fun kinds.
Fun guys.
What's that?
What do you have, like clowns?
Hell no.
People are laughing.
Oh my god, I watched clown midget porn once, and that was just like the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Are you into
but how'd your partner like it?
It was just on at a party.
Oh. Now, do you want like
going
the
back to
whole?
Humboldt.
Would you prefer a whole storyline, or do you just
No.
want to get right to it?
Get right to it. I don't need to know about, oh my god, I have never done this before. We're going to go out now. And you want to give us money? Oh my god, okay. Or even worse, when they try to take the acting seriously.
Right.
No, just get naked.
Just get naked.
Don't even make out too much. Just
Yeah, who wants to see making out?
Yeah, yeah.
The sex is the star.
Right.
the worst thing is if you're just trying to find something really fast.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, this is like 45 minutes. And like 30 minutes later, I haven't even gotten naked yet.
That's why they have fast
too long.
forward.
I do.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
All right. Well, you can find everything you want over at adamandeve.com. If you go to adamandeve.com right now, you get 50% off just about any one item. Then you can choose 3 free adult DVDs. You'll also get free shipping and a free mystery gift. So use coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY. And look, why go to the creepy store down the road when you can do it all from the comfort of your home? Go to adamandeve.com. And if you just can't wait, they have a mobile site. So search from your mobile phone, adamine.com, and you'll pop up at the mobile site, and you can sit right on the commuter train.
Oh, public transit? I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Order dildos and stuff for your old lady. You know,
and everybody's thinking you're like doing email.
Yeah. Check it all out. Don't be afraid, you know. All right. You guys want some more Backstreet Boys?
I'm wet.
Really?
No.
I just...
I can't believe they're still touring. That's unbelievable.
You guys?
Yeah.
The chat room is telling me that we should Google World of Horcraft. It's not Dungeons and Dragons.
Moscow,
though.
do that, but don't do it from my computer. Will you?
Not your...
It's want to soil.
Google World of Horcraft from anybody but my computer. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Joe Castellucci. He's from Peachtree Brewing Company. We're going to talk about his use of Belgian yeast in different beers. Plus, Doc's got a Belgian yeast segment for us, too. So hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Nico, listen, our lawyers said that we had to do this for 1 hour, and after this, we don't have to talk to each other for 3 more months to the next meeting.
Kids, come on, let's get out of here.
I'm supposed to have more lines. I'm the professional. Hey, it's Sully.
And I'm Nico.
And we opened the 21st Amendment 9 years ago at 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park, to make great beer and have a great time doing it.
That's right, because to us, the 21st Amendment is more than just the right to make beer. It's the right to experiment, to be innovative, and just do things differently. And so now, we're putting our craft beer in cans.
That's right, cans. You can find our world-famous Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer and Brew Free or Die IPA throughout California and Alaska.
And now it's also available on draft at select accounts in the Bay Area.
So next time you're at your local neighborhood pub or good beer store, be sure to ask for 21st Amendment in cans.
Because everyone likes it in the can.
Tasty crack cans.
Tasty crack cans.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Cut hours off your brewing sessions by using one of our 11 varieties of famous Williams malt extract. Our Williams Belgian Pale Extract is mashed with pure Belgian 2-row malt and a small percentage of Belgian wheat malt for an authentic Belgian character you just can't get from other extracts. Or check out our unique fermenters, 2.5-gallon kegs, paintball tank-based draft beer equipment, bottling aids, and much more. We even have our own line of precision hydrometers. Go to WilliamsBrewing.com to browse our vast selection. That's WilliamsBrewing.com. Orders placed by 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
First time I saw you, well, you were leaving at a Robert's bar. There was something about the way you carried your drink out to your car. Now I think I understand the little things that make you tick. 'Cause I got behind you in the fast lane quick. So be careful what you ask for, 'cause it might just come true. I wanna be locked inside a liquor store with you. The second time I saw you, well, you were screaming naked down the street. Well, I said to myself, I made a mental note, hey, there's a little girl I'd like to meet. I met you under the table, honey, more than a time or two. And I know that I want to get shit-faced with you. So be careful what you ask for, 'cause it might just come true. I want to be locked inside a liquor store with you. Oh, let's get locked up here. Last time I saw you, well, you were sleeping down in your grave. Well, you ran too fast for a slow lame ass like me to try to save. Honey, I hope I see you just seconds right after I die. 'Cause we'll meet up in that big saloon in the sky. So be careful what you ask for, 'cause it might just come true. I wanna be locked inside a liquor store with you. Better be careful what you ask for, 'cause it might just come true. I wanna be locked inside a liquor store with you. A liquor store with you. A liquor store with you. A liquor store with you.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network.
The session. Brewing up our next batch of radio gold. Right now.
Welcome back to the program, everybody, and thanks for sticking with us and taking care of some of our sponsors there. Right now, we've got Joe Kestelud. He's the brewmaster over at Peachtree Brewing Company in Knoxville, Iowa. Joe, are you with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear. Thanks for being on the program, buddy.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and now we had planned to have Joe on last week, but as you all know, we like to do the interviews when we have their beer in front of us because it helps us get to know the brewer a little better and give us some more concise answers. So, Joe, your beer finally did arrive. Thanks for sending it to us, man.
Excellent. No problem. I'm glad you guys got it.
Yeah, and when we say finally, we mean like 8:30 the morning after the show. It was 11 hours late.
It came right after. Yeah. And so Moscow has since drank half of it, and he brought us a half a bottle of each one. So, what a jerk. So Joe's from Peachtree Brewing Company. You can go to peachtreebrewing.com right now and check it out. And if you look at their beers list, we'll be trying several of the beers on the list there. If you've got questions, just hit the chat button on the homepage or call 888-401-BEER, 888-401-BEER. And Susie is in the chat room answering your questions tonight, and I'm sure that Joe would be happy to hear from you. So if you got anything to ask. So, Joe, you were a home brewer before starting as a pro. Is that right?
I homebrewed for about 3 or 4 years, and at that point I decided that's what I wanted to do for a career, so I researched the different brewing schools, and I went back to school and went to school at the American Brewers Guild in Vermont. And from there I did an apprenticeship in Chicago at a small brew pub. Then I moved up to Minnesota, brewed up there as a head brewer for 5 years, and then saw that they were starting a brewery here in Knoxville, Iowa, and jumped at the chance to get in there.
Okay. Now, the American Brewers Guild, correct me if I'm wrong, that's one that you can do kind of home study and online courses and things as well, right?
You can. So at the time I had a young kid, so it was hard for me to take time off my job and go full-time to school. So I was able to work full-time and do my studying at the same time, and so it worked out really well for me.
Well, listen, I got myself through a community college based on the same type of program. Even though the community college was right around the corner for me, I was too high to go to class. So once I found online courses, it was the best thing that ever happened. Now, I actually only bring this up because a lot of times our listeners want to know about the different schools that are available. You know, there's like the UC Davis program, and there's Siebel, and there's longer programs and shorter programs, but I'm not sure we've ever had anybody come on and talk about this program. So I'm just curious how you think the education was and the difference of being in class versus more of a home study program.
I thought it was a very good program. They send you DVDs of all the lectures, and I just thought it was really well done. They send you all the books beforehand. You're supposed to read all the literature before you even start the program, which really helps out. And then once you start it, you work on the DVDs. You do 2 exams from home, and then you go out there for 2 weeks and you work at a guest brewery, and you do a lot of lab work, and then you take a final exam. And once you pass all the exams, you get your diploma from there.
Got it.
American Homebrewers Guild used to be here in California.
Oh.
And they moved out there to Vermont. But way back in the day when I was first doing homebrewing, they had several homebrewer courses you could take for 3 days.
Oh, I see.
And
yeah.
I did some of those.
Okay.
It was very eye-opening.
Really?
A lot of math, a lot of how to figure out things.
A lot of biology, a lot of chemistry, a little engineering. So.
And everything was, they threw it back into the metric system, which was fine because I was in college, but when I went into homebrewing, it was all, imperial system. But they're very good. They're very, they're on everything. They cover everything.
Okay.
So it's worth, if you really want extra knowledge,
it's worth it.
Check them out. Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Joe, that's Doc, by the way. We got Doc and Tasty, and then, of course, Moscow, who's our producer, who booked you on here in the room, too. So everyone will be asking you questions. But well, that's good to know, because, and I think that your situation, Joe, is similar to a lot of our listeners who might want to go into the business. They feel like maybe they have to give up everything and figure out how to go to school, but they got families at home. So it sounds like the American Brewers Guild might be a good option.
Yeah, it's a fantastic option, and even the Siebel Institute and some other, even UC Davis, I believe, has an online program as well now because it works out so well for everybody.
Got it. Now, they also offer kind of a job placement or internship after the program too. Is that right?
Right. When I was going there, it was optional. You didn't have to do that, but I opted into that program, and they hooked me up with a brew pub outside of Chicago. Ram Brew Pub in Wheeling, and they did a fantastic job of taking me in and showing me the ropes at their facility.
Now, what happens at a gig like that where you're kind of getting set up by the school? Are you just the bitch who has to clean up the mash, or do they really let you do every part of the brewing?
I'm sure it varies from brewery to brewery, but they did a fantastic job. They made me do everything. So they did everywhere from cleaning to actually mashing in. By the time I was done, I was mashing in one of their brews and working through it from beginning to end. So
okay,
they were really good at helping me out. So
was the whole experience kind of eye-opening compared to your home brewery, or did you end up feeling like, well, if I just focused on the skills as a home brewer, I already know how to do this?
I really thought I knew a lot when I was home brewing until I went to brewing school, and it was really eye-opening. I learned quite a bit. I can't imagine doing what I'm doing now without having that background. It helps out quite a bit, and you meet a lot of a lot of great people. And if you ever have any questions, you can go back to the program and talk to them, and they'll help you out and help you find a job. It's a fantastic program.
Do you feel like you would have learned things that you wouldn't have learned no matter how long you stayed a home brewer?
Yeah, absolutely. Just having the knowledge of someone being there to actually walk you through certain things that you may not normally quite understand properly. And there's a lot of things in there that you don't always necessarily learn from reading a book all the time. So it's actually working at a facility too, hands-on experience, and along with the literature. So it was great.
Yeah, I can't imagine just jumping straight from homebrew to pro brew without some kind of education like that. I tend to convince myself that I can do anything, just because I'm a bit nutty that way. But brewing,
people tolerate you.
But professional brewing is not one of them. Well, but I would never tell you, yes, I can. Don't worry, I've been a home brewer for years. I can jump into your brewery and do this. I would never think that.
Your raging narcissism aside, we hear that a lot on this program.
Right.
People going straight from high school to the pros.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, I don't know, I think it takes big balls to do that. And that I would screw up lots of gallons of very valuable liquid by not going to some kind of a school.
Or do you consider going to the pros, the single A team?
I'm telling you, any of it. It sounds like Joe, for example. He kind of went to, he maybe went to AAA out at Ram there, but I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing that without some kind of training. And I think that there are brewers who come on the show and say, "Well, it's just a glorified homebrew system that I use," or this and that. But even the equipment alone and the difference in how it looks and works, I think is pretty significant,
Well, it's a little intimidating at first, when you're first starting out going into a big system like that. Things are very similar from doing 5 gallons to 20 barrels. So I mean, there's definite similarities, but and I'm not saying you can't go from a home brewer to brewing professionally. There's a lot of home brewers that have done that and are super successful doing that. So it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
Well, education is just what you think it is. It's a background. It's stuff you may or may not need to know. But eventually, if you're brewing, you're going to need some of that information. You're going to have a problem. You're going to have some issue that you're going to know either where to to go look it up, or you're going to at least know that you have to apply some knowledge to the situation.
Yeah.
Well, Moscow knows it's like being an artist. You can't just go out there and draw. You can take some courses and learn how to do this or this and that, but when it really comes down to it, it's your talent takes over on top of your education.
Sure. And like Tasty said, when the shit hits the fan and something is stuck or broken,
right?
Do they teach? Is there an engineering portion in the American Brewers Guild, Joe, where they'll talk about equipment failure and how to work with that?
They do have a whole section on engineering as well, so that definitely helped out quite a bit.
Got it. Okay. All right, so you go to school, you get your education, you do your apprenticeship in Chicago, and how do you end up at Peachtree?
After the brew pub, I moved up to Minnesota, and I was up there for 5 years, and we didn't have any family in Minnesota, so we have some family here in Iowa, and we just heard through the grapevine that they were starting a brewery possibly in Knoxville here. And so I kind of had it in the back of my mind. I had a great position up in Minnesota, and then all of a sudden I looked on Pro Brewer, and there it was. And so I told my wife, and I think I was actually late sending in my resume by a couple days, but my wife told me she'd kill me if I didn't send it because her parents live there. She's got brothers, that live here, and I've got a sister that lives here. So that's how the whole, ball got rolling from there.
Were there a lot of applicants to that same position?
I believe there was. I can't give you an exact number, but I think they got close to 100 people applying.
Wow. Okay. And you turned in your application late, but still got picked out of that many people.
Right. After I sent my resume, they gave me a phone call, right away, and I spoke with them on the phone for a little while, and they were interested, so they invited me down here to Knoxville, and I did a face-to-face interview with them, brought some beer down, and later that day they called me up and they said they wanted to hire me. So
nice. Maybe it was reverse screening process. Like they were like, we'll know the true brewer by the guy who doesn't apply on time. So they got 107 that were on time, and the 108th rolled in 6 days late. They were like, here's a brewer.
Well, it's true, because like I always say, brewers are drummers.
Yeah.
And they're always late.
Well, I like the way he said, well, I came down and I brought some brews.
And you brought, do you remember what beer you brought?
I did. I brought an Imperial Stout that was barrel-aged. And the funny thing about that is I was the only brewer that interviewed that actually brought some beer to the interview.
Ah, nice.
Score.
Well, see,
that's how he won.
How can you show up for an interview as a brewer without beer?
Right. What are you thinking?
Because you're like me, and none of your beer stands up to par. Like, I could sit there and make myself sound great, but if you want to taste what I brewed, I'm out. Never mind. Go on to the next guy. Well, that's cool. So that was a home brew of yours that you had barrel aged?
It was actually one of the brews that we did in Cold Spring, Minnesota.
Okay.
And I had helped work on that with some other brewers there, and so I brought that down to show them some of the things that we did there.
Is Cold Spring the place that's doing the 21st Amendment beer too? Did you were you there during that?
I was there at the very startup phases of that. Yeah.
Okay. So it is the same brewery.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Oh, they're putting some good beer out of there now, by the way.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah. I know that, and Sully was talking to me about it. In the beginning, they were struggling a little bit, but they've been putting out some great beer for a couple years now. There.
Yeah.
So, okay, so it was a beer that you had brewed there that you brought in.
Right.
Well, you must have impressed them with that.
That worked out. They called me later that day, so...
and they were like, you're hired. Can we have more?
Right. I kind of like the tangible process of a beer interview like that. You see what I mean? When you apply for jobs, it's very much the employer's opinion versus your presentation. But if you give a person a beer, like that's it. Yeah. It's either good or it's not. I mean, there's no intangible happening there.
I'm actually thinking it might work for any job interview.
It should. Every job interview should figure out how to have a tangible thing like this, But that's not how the world works. But I like that it should work this way in the beer world, So, all right. So you get the gig, and how long you been there now?
I've been there. I started July of 2009, and it was just basically a raw building with nothing in it at that point.
Okay. So you were really in at the ground floor. That's kind of cool too that you didn't have to absorb somebody else's beers or fill somebody else's shoes.
Right, and it's most brewers' dream to get up at a startup phase at a brewery, and watch everything grow from scratch, watch your recipes develop,
right,
and put all the equipment into place, help with that ordering process, and it was a great experience.
Were they looking for you to develop the beers that would be sold, or did they already have a plan for that?
They had no plan. I asked them that when I started. I said, what I got. There's 3 owners, and I got them together, and I said, what kind of beers do you guys want to do? And they stopped me right there, and they said, we don't want to tell you what we want. We want you to make the beer, and you know what you're doing. We want you to make the best beer that you can, and whatever you want. So it was amazing.
Is it me, or is Joe a fucking leprechaun? Like, he's the luckiest guy.
Yes, exactly.
This is the luckiest brewer I've ever heard of at a startup phase. Usually you have to be somebody's little brew bitch when they want you to start.
Yeah, you're only going to make our 5 things,
Right.
and you got to make them perfectly.
And if you sneak around enough, you might get a seasonal.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, if we like you.
Yeah, you got a good deal, Joe.
Yeah, it's a good gig, and the owners are fantastic. They're amazing.
What's their deal? Were they just beer lovers, or are they just investors? Why did they want to start the brewery?
It's actually a pretty good story. They actually own an insurance agency, kitty corner from the brewery now, and it's a family-owned business for years. And they decided that they wanted to buy this building across the street. It had been empty for a while, and they just wanted to lease it out to somebody so somebody could start a business there, so it didn't stay abandoned. And a year went by, nobody started anything, and so they got together and said, well, we have to start something there. And so they tossed around a few ideas, a laundromat, a few other things, and they all liked drinking good beer, so they eventually said, how about a craft brewery?
Nice.
And so they went to the Craft Brewers Conference in Boston. I believe it was in April or whatever, and they came back, got back together, and said, let's do it. And then that's when the whole process started from there. And that was in 2009, the beginning of 2009. I came on in July of 2009, and then the tap room opened up October of 2009.
Okay. And they were smart enough to know, look, this is something we want to do, but not something we know how to do beer-wise, so they just let you do that.
Yeah, hire competent people and then leave them alone.
Right. Brilliant.
Right.
It's a good thing that they liked beer more than laundry.
Right.
Yeah.
Not good for me.
The range that we hear on this show of of people that were so passionate about beer and all they ever wanted to do was open a brewery to there's a dartboard full of businesses and it landed on beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Love that. All right. Well, we've got some of your beer in front of us, and I want to get into that after the break too. But, I'm kind of looking over your website and the different beers, and it looks to me like you're relying heavily on Belgian yeast. Where does that come from?
When we first started the brewery, we got a small Sabco system, and I was able to brew 10 to 20 gallons at a time on it, and I did a lot of recipe development while the brewery was actually being built. And so I would do an IPA, and I would split it up into a bunch of 5-gallon batches, and I would put different yeast strains into each one. And every time we would serve it in the tasting room, the Belgian yeast dominated everybody's tastes, and we just went with the flow on that, and eventually we just stuck with the Belgian yeast strain for most of them.
Got it. And some of them, in fact, most of them, kind of look like American style of beers. It's not like you're doing a full Belgian style. Although this blonde ale that we're drinking, the Fat Tail Blonde, that does taste like a Belgian golden or like a golden strong. But as I'm reading through your descriptions, they kind of seem like your American styles, but happen to have Belgian yeast. Is that accurate?
Right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do some different styles. I wanted to do an IPA, but I didn't want to do an American IPA like everybody else was doing around here. And so I wanted to mix it up a little bit and just put a Belgian yeast in there and just mix it up. So there was nobody at the time doing very many IPAs to begin with, let alone a Belgian IPA. So I thought that was a good route to go.
Yeah,
to separate themselves out a little bit.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about a few of those. I will say this about the blonde. This is one of those. This is a panty dropper. This is the beer that you have at your brewery that the people come in and they go, well, what do you have
that's light?
What do you have that's light? What do you have that's most like a Bud Light? And then you go, well, you could have our blonde ale, and then you say under your breath, that's 8.5%.
Wow, is it 8.5?
Yeah,
it's 8.5%.
Wow. It's got just a little bit of saison to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's so different. I want a whole lot more.
And it doesn't taste like hot alcohol either.
No, not at all. It just it's mischievous.
Yeah.
It's like a saison.
Right.
It's not too hoppy, but it's not like your run-of-the-mill light beer that they're gonna, just your entry beer.
You should change the name to "I'm Getting Laid Tonight," Joe.
Yeah. Well, from why'd you bring me here to thank you.
Right. Is this a popular beer at the pub?
That's our best-selling beer right now.
It is. Okay.
Oh, it's clean but just enough different that it's really nice.
Is it safe to say that you were? I mean, I know it's a very popular example of the style, if not the example. It's a Duvel-like beer. Is this a big inspiration for you?
Yeah, it's a similar style that we're kind of going for.
Okay. Yeah, this is a nice beer. And I like that it hasn't gotten too estery. Now, there are Belgian esters in there, clearly. But it's not overboard.
It's more phenolic, where it's got more of that peppery kind of flavor to it.
Yeah.
Rather than the floral kind of stuff. But it's still light. It's still very approachable, and it's just that hint of differentness.
Yeah. Can we talk about your fermentation on this just real quick before we go to break? Like temperatures, and are you looking to stress this yeast at all, or keep it nice and healthy and happy? What are you looking for?
Yeah, what I do is I started out on the cool side, and this yeast kind of starts out a little slow, so I get like a 1-day lag time on it before it actually really takes off. Because I start out so cool.
How cool is cool? What are we talking?
I start out at about 65 degrees.
All right, yeah, that's plenty cool.
Did I miss which yeast this is?
It's Y yeast 1214.
Okay.
All
right. So 65 you start, and then what?
And then I just let it go, and then I cap it off at a certain temperature. I let it get pretty high, though. I let it get, I let it get in the low 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, do you let it get there still during the real kind of rigorous part of fermentation, or you don't do that until the end, where you're kind of letting it clean things up? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I let it climb all the way up there on its own.
Okay.
And I don't do any cooling, because I'm always afraid if I start cooling it too soon, it'll kind of stall out. It'll kind of go half dormant on me, and it won't want to keep the fermentation going like it should. So some of those strains are pretty touchy when you start playing around with the temperatures too early.
Okay. Well, that would explain some of those phenols that you're talking about there, Doc, is letting it get warm there.
Yeah, well, it's basically it's the Chimay blend.
I see.
So you're going to get more of that. But these yeast can be very finicky.
Yeah.
And what he was saying, you just don't want, once it stalls out,
don't mess with it.
You start panicking.
Okay.
Like, what am I going to do to start it going again?
Yeah, I see.
Caution.
And you don't filter this beer or anything afterward either, right?
I do not, no.
Okay. By the way, it's worth pointing out, I think, from a packaging standpoint, that you guys use the little stubby bottles, like the Full Sail uses them for their session beer, and of course, everyone knows that Red Stripe has them.
Yeah.
I like the bottle. I like the package.
It reminds you of something stubby?
Yeah, it's a nice little stubby bottle.
Well, it's got some girth, though.
And that's what matters after all.
It makes me feel like I'm at a party,
It's definitely been good marketing-wise for us, just to at least get somebody to put a bottle in their hand and then get it to their, in their mouth. So that's been good for us.
Love it.
Good, because it stands out.
Yeah. And now, by the way, I called it Fat Tail, but it's I was not being very accurate. It's Fatale. Or Fatal, even, which is where you'd get it, which is what I was getting.
I think they were referring to the drunk chick.
That's what I was getting at, which is a great name.
Yeah.
Who names your beers?
We usually get together and name all the beers, but the Blonde Fatale was actually one of the guys that worked at in our tasting room one night. I think the first night that we put it on tap, and this is one of the beers that we opened up with when our law changed in Iowa. When we first started, we could only brew up to 6.25% alcohol. And right when we got started, the law changed, and we were able to brew up to 15% alcohol.
Oh.
So it was getting close to becoming summer, so I wanted to do a high-alcohol beer right away, so I did the Blonde. And I went and did a tasting in Ottumwa, and about 9 o'clock I came back to the brewery in the evening, and the tap room was open. I had it on tap for the first time. And I walked in the door, and it was really loud, and everybody's face was really red. And I looked at each table, and everybody had a nice golden beer in front of them. So
nice.
Success.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, one of our taproom guys named that one.
Okay. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, that's fun. That's a good memory to have about your beer right there too. Well, you did a nice job on this one. I like it. All right, how about this? I got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll open some more. I want to talk about some of the different styles because you're doing like a red ale, like an amber ale, but also doing the Belgian, and that's low at like low for a Belgian yeast at like 5.8%. So I want to talk about some of these Belgian yeast decisions that you got. Can you hang in there, Joe?
Yep.
All right. We're talking to Joe, and of course, he's from Peachtree Brewing Company out of Knoxville, Iowa. And when we come back, we'll talk more about Belgian yeast and these styles of beer. You can ask questions yourself, 888-401-BEER, or just hit the chat button on the homepage. We'll be right back. It's The Session.
Listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
What was Al Capone's official profession? I know.
Your next homebrew club meeting, beer tasting, or weekly hangout just got a lot more fun with a brand new pub trivia board game from University Games. In the new pub trivia, teams of 2 to 10 can go up against 1,000 new questions in 5 different categories. No drinking required, so everyone can play pub trivia. Sports, science, history, entertainment. There's something for all trivia lovers in the new Pub Trivia board game. You can find Pub Trivia at your local Walmart store or online at rugame.com. That's rugame.com. Bring home everyone's favorite bar quiz game tonight with the brand new Pub Trivia board game from University Games. Online at rugame.com.
Okay, what is Madonna's last name?
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry, and to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just one day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
Are you a hophead? Beer lovers of all stripes will love Brewers Publications' latest release, IPA, Brewing Techniques, Recipes, and the Evolution of India Pale Ale by Mitch Steele.
I wanted to write a book that presented an accurate review of the history of IPA and also provided current technical brewing tips and recipe information. India Pale Ale is a style I love because it has a rich, fascinating history, and today it provides brewers a showcase for all the great new hop varieties that are available. I'm so proud of this book, and I know you'll enjoy all the recipes and thoughts from so many of the world's great IPA brewers.
IPA is available now from Brewers Publications at brewerspublications.com and your favorite homebrew store. Order your copy today and take your hop-forward beers to the next level.
American Homebrewers Association and Brewers Association members receive early notice and special discounts to most Brewers Publication releases. Visit brewerspublications.com to learn more and to find a schedule of author appearances. IPA by Mitch Steele. Get yours today.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters, this is Jamel Zanishev, and I love a bold, hoppy beer. When it spits resin in your face, it makes you cry, Uncle. There are a lot of great hoppy beers out there, but at Heretic, we want to make something as bold, dank, and resiny as possible. We use hops at every chance we get, including multiple dry hop additions. The result is Heretic Evil Cousin. This light golden, 8% Imperial IPA has an easy malt character that helps take the edge off the massive bittering, but it takes a back seat to the in-your-face hop character. We make sure this beer finishes dry so the hops can jump out and slam you in the taste buds. If you can't get enough hoppy goodness, Evil Cousin is your cup of tea. Cheers.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping.
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
What's funny is brewers will say, yeah, I don't brew to style. I'm brewing my own beer. And it's like a German Pilsner, but it's black. Yeah, it's a sports beer. You know?
The home of live beer radio. TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The Session. Tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, don't forget that Beersmith.com offers a free 21-day trial of their brewing software. You can just go to Beersmith.com right now and check it out. If you're looking for recipes, they got a recipe site, or just a way to dial in your own brew day. Beersmith is the only continuously updated brewing software, and they now have Beersmith Lite, which is a mobile app you can bring up on your mobile phone. It works on all kinds of platforms, the iPhone and the Android, the iPad, the Kindle Fire. It's an app that works on all of them, and you can bring up recipes, your own recipes. You can search the recipes over on the Beersmith site. There are over 3,000 of those recipes on the Beersmith site. He's also working on a way to actually be able to manipulate your recipes from the app too, but he says that's a couple versions away. But go check out Beersmith Lite right now. It works on everything, mobile brewing preferences, easy brewing calculators. You can time your brew day right there. You can do all sorts of things on Beersmith Lite. So don't forget to check it out. We love Brad and Beersmith. They've been good to us over the years, and it's just fantastic brewing software that everybody here has come to use. All right, we're talking to Joe Kestelud. He's from Peachtree Brewing Company, hanging out with us today. And we just opened up another one of your beers, Joe. And this time we opened up the Red Rambler.
Oh.
Now, the Red Rambler is one of your beers and one of very few. In fact, I'm not sure if it's even the only one that does not use a Belgian yeast. Is that right?
That's correct. This one I use an American ale yeast in. And so it doesn't have any of the funky Belgianness in there.
Right. But I had to double check and remind myself whether or not this one uses a Belgian yeast because it finishes so dry. This is a very clean and dry finish, so I thought that maybe I was mistaken that it didn't use a Belgian yeast. Because I would think that it would go in and consume all the sugar. But this is a really dry red ale.
Well, you get the caramel coming through, and then it just
cuts out.
Just cuts out.
It's like a very steep curve on the sweetness factor.
And one of the things I don't like about the red ales is it just hangs with you and it's got that aftertaste. No, this just cuts right out.
What's your secret here? Because it does have some nice, like Doc says, kind of caramel and even roast flavors, but they drop out.
Right. I use a lot of Belgian malt in this one, so I use a little bit of Special B, which is a dark caramelized barley, and then I use some Cara 45 in there for some more caramel flavor. And so I think that combination alone with the American ale yeast gives a unique flavor to it.
So no crystal in there?
No.
I got to ask about that label, the Rambler. You got a red Rambler station wagon. When I grew up, I had the cream-colored Rambler station wagon as a kid. It had a push-button transmission, the whole thing. But this just brings me way back to the 60s.
Your childhood.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Like having a flashback.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So where'd you come up with this name?
Brewery actually at one time was a Nash Rambler dealership.
Okay.
We wanted to incorporate a little of the history of the brewery itself, the building, and where the tasting room is actually where the showroom was, and then where the brew house is, where it was actually the shop in the back. So.
Oh, it was actually one of the better cars my parents bought because they were the lemon shoppers. They would just buy lemon after lemon. It was just a problem. But this one kept with us for a long time.
The Rambler wasn't a lemon?
No, actually it was pretty decent.
Why'd it get such a bad rap?
I don't know, but we had the same. We had the station wagon with the fins on the back. I loved the transmission because it was a push button. You put the D, you push the D, you push the neutral, you push the R.
Yeah, right there on the dash.
No, there was no stick or anything else.
Right.
It was still a piece of crap, from the 60s, but
Sure.
still.
Well, the beer is nice. Your use of the Belgian Pale, so do you feel like that's the Special B, rather, that it's able to add kind of the caramel flavor that we're talking about, but also finish dry compared to other caramel malts?
I think a combination of the different caramel malts and a little bit of Munich malt in there help make it finish that way.
How much Munich malt is in there? You say about less than 5%? 5 or less?
It's close to 5, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
And what yeast is used in this one?
That one's 1056.
Okay.
Your 01.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I like this beer. I'm kind of a holdout for this style, right? The red ale and the amber ale. And what I mean is, I want it to be good so often, and I'm always willing to try it at the bar. But I got to admit, I'm very often disappointed because it does end up a little too sweet or full-bodied. I can't even finish the pint.
No, I brewed several of them, and God, I hate them. They've done well in competition.
You don't like them.
I hate them.
I see.
It sounds a lot like your relationship, Jay, with your staff. Actually, you want to like them.
I do, yeah.
So much.
I want you guys
keep giving them chances.
I want you guys to be awesome. It is. That's my life. Story of my life.
But what Justin pointed out was the way it's nice and rounded up front, and then just you don't have that lingering crap at the end.
I'm telling you, that curve is quick.
The curve is quick. It's just like, I want to drink it again.
Yeah. But the reason I want to like the amber ale is because it has all of those caramel flavors and some of the roast flavors too. I just don't want that to be along with an enormous amount of residual sugar or kind of that dextrinous mouthfeel. It's so thick on
you can't get rid of it.
So this really does a good job of kind of conveying both, Joe. I think you did a good job.
And the fact that you're trying to sell this beer, which everybody at the end, I want to take another drink. I'm going to want to order another one of these. This is a great selling beer.
Yeah. What's the fermentation profile of this beer?
This one I just keep steady at 68 and just let it go at 68.
And just let it do it. So this is really, like you said, it's kind of the combination of the malts that you use that allow it to dry out.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the second step from the blonde.
Right, because this one's only. This is the craft beer world, isn't it? 5.8%. It's only 5.8.
Yeah, only 5.8.
Yeah.
But mash temperature also helps with that too. If I go a little bit lower on the mash temperature. If I would have went higher, it would have been a lot sweeter.
Okay. So what's low? Like 148?
No, I'm up in the 150s.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because we talk about that on the show too. A lot of you guys, Tasty and Doc, I know Tasty, you don't like to go like above 152, right? Aren't you right around in there?
Well, it depends on the beer. If I'm looking for body in the beer, I made a batch today of a blonde ale at 156.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because I'm trying to get body in the beer.
Okay.
I don't want it to finish, low. I'm not trying to create alcohol. I'm trying to create, a dextrinous beer.
Okay. What about a beer like this? Would you have done also in the 150s or
yeah, low for me, and it sounds like Joe's the same way. It's like 151 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the beers I'm doing higher. My theory on making beer is try to make it somewhat unfermentable, then attack it in the ferment, like aggressively with a good healthy yeast and
I see.
Good fermentation practices.
And that's how you end up with body, is what you're saying.
That's when in body and a well attenuated beer.
Okay.
Like this Rambler is really well attenuated.
It is well attenuated. Like I said, that's why I thought it was a Belgian yeast, because it's super well attenuated, and especially for the amount of flavor. And Tasty, you've experimented a little bit with the Special B also. With our Arrogant Bastard clone and some things like that.
I like the application here. I only had it in an Arrogant Bastard, actually.
Okay.
And so having it in this lighter beer just tastes great. I like how it's presented here. It really showcases that malt.
It makes me think about using it, that I want to taste more beers with it.
It's annoying, an Arrogant Bastard.
It is.
Of course, I guess that's what they had in mind, right?
to annoy us.
I don't know whether it's the Arrogant or the Bastard, but it seems to fit both things.
Yeah. But you're right, it's really well represented in this beer.
Right.
And does it add a lot of color to the beer also, the Special B?
It does. It adds a deeper red color to the beer.
Okay. Yeah. And this is a non-filtered beer as well, right?
It is. It's not filtered also.
Do you guys filter any of your beer?
We do not.
Good for you.
And all your beers are bottle conditioned?
No, I just let them settle out. My beers take me a little bit longer than most people. I usually let them sit for about, from beginning to end, it takes me about 28 days for most of my beers. Mm-hmm. Just so I can let them condition a little bit longer. And then I transfer it to the bright tank, carbonate it, and then it's ready to go.
Right.
Got it. How big's your system? Did we talk about that?
We have a 20-barrel system, so 620-gallon brews. And then I have 6 40-barrel fermenters, so I'll do 2 brews on top of each other.
Okay.
2 20-barrel fermenters as well.
So you got some busy weeks where you got to stack some brew days on top of each other.
Yeah, we, anywhere from 2 days a week to 5 days a week brewing. So.
Okay.
So how much planning do you guys do? Do you plan ahead for brews, or just pretty much the work week? You got to work from 7 to 5 or whatever you're going to do, or some brews are different for this week. You're going to brew some heavy beers. You got to take some longer times.
Yeah.
Do you have like the huddle?
Yeah, seat of your pants, or is this all scheduled out?
Yeah, exactly.
Starting out, when we first started out, as kind of by the seat of your pants. You just kind of rolled with it and just kind of did it, week by week, day by day, almost. And then we're at the point now where we're trying to schedule 3, 6, and up to 9 months in advance what we're going to be brewing.
Okay.
So we're trying to do that a little bit more because we're getting more involved with more distributors, and so just to keep them in line with what we're doing, it's just easier to plan ahead and have it all planned out.
Got it.
But are your week to week things that much different as far as brews? For you got to brew 3 of these and 2 of these in this week. You have to plan that much more ahead.
For seasonals and stuff, when I throw seasonals in there, we definitely have to plan, a month to 2 months in advance, just so we have labels, carriers, and mother boxes and stuff like that all ready. But week to week, it's pretty consistent from week to week.
Okay. We're just opening up your Hop Wrangler right now, which you've written on your website that it's an international take on a classic IPA. But again, you've added Belgian yeast to this.
Right.
Are there also Belgian malts?
We do, yeah. I use some Belgian malts, and I also use some English floor malted barley as well.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what brand it is, the floor malted?
It's Maris Otter from Warminster.
Okay, got it. All right. Yeah, I just asked a lot of our homebrewers, too. Homebrew shops have become so awesome at supplying malts now that we can often pick the brand. We can go right down to the brand. So they always want to know. All right, so a little bit of English malt and some looks like some American malt as well as some Belgian malt in this one. And how about hops on your IPA?
Hops, I've got some some English Bugle. I've got some Cascade. I've got some Zeus in there.
Okay. Now, Zeus isn't one that we hear.
Not very much, no.
But you know what? I don't think it's because people don't use it. I think it's because people don't mention it. Because I've definitely heard of people using some Zeus. They just don't often use it as the one that they are touting. Oh, yeah, there's Zeus in that beer. You know.
Killer Zeus.
Do you not print the ABV on this bottle?
I looked. I didn't see it.
You do on some, but not on others?
Yeah, just on some. Just like on the blonde, since it's higher alcohol, we just want to let people know because it doesn't taste like it's high in alcohol. So that one, we definitely wanted to put the alcohol on that one. The IPA, it's about 6.5% alcohol.
Okay. It's on the website, too, yeah.
What's your cutoff?
Yeah, well, but he doesn't have one, right? Because the red was a 5-something, but that had the ABV on it.
Oh, it did? On the bottle?
I didn't see it on there.
Oh, did it not?
I don't know.
Oh, well,
I've been reading them off the website.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, what's the cutoff then?
No. Of where you have to list them on the label?
Yeah. Do you have one? Is it 6?
You don't have to right now.
They don't have to at all.
I don't mean by law. I just mean, have you applied an arbitrary rule?
Oh, no, we just for that one, I think just for safety reasons, so people know that they're aware of how many beers they've had.
Right, good call. That's responsible, Joe. Good for you. You know what I find interesting about this beer, and I'm looking over how it's described on the website and what Joe's told us. I don't hear him saying that there's rye malt in it, but it tastes like a rye IPA to me.
Got some of that Band-Aidy phenolic-y kind of thing?
No. More of the oat, that kind of oat,
thick,
peppery,
a thick slick.
Type of flavor to it that I feel it tastes like some rye IPAs that I've had. But you don't have any rye malt in this.
No rye malt in that one.
It might be the Zeus.
Oh, you think it's a hop flavor?
Yep.
What do you think, Joe?
It could be the hop flavor that you're getting out of there. It was blended in with the Belgian yeast characteristics.
Yeah, see, that's the other trick here is the Belgian yeast. Now, here's a beer that if you gave it to me and didn't tell me it had Belgian yeast, I would not tell you it had Belgian yeast.
You
I would have said rye malt.
Rye malt.
I'd have gone back and I said rye malt. So maybe it's those esters.
Which yeast are you talking about?
This one's also 1214.
Yeah, that comes through with the phenolic, the spiciness.
Yeah.
It's again, it's the Chimay blend.
And it is spiciness, but to me it's malt spicy rather than yeast spicy.
Well,
that's what I'm picking up.
Well,
that's interesting.
Rye is spicy.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And in anything that rye's in, it's going to be spicy.
Of the Belgian IPAs that I've had, this is very unique. I would not have guessed this had a Belgian yeast in it. It's a subdued.
No, I wouldn't. I would not have guessed that either. I would have gone with hops.
Yeah.
The malt. I would not have said that this has any kind of Belgian.
Is that by design, Joe? To subdue the yeast?
Yeah, it's again. I ferment this one pretty low, so I don't want to get too many esters in there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep it a little subdued.
But what does come out is that it's a pretty unique flavor.
Yeah, you get the spiciness, but you don't get the Belgian kind of character coming through.
Which you tend not to like anyway.
Which I don't like. And I'm telling you, I kind of really like the way he's done this because it sneaks up on you in that way. Again, that if I didn't read it on the website, I wouldn't have said... I could have sat in his pub and talked all night about how I hate Belgian IPAs.
Yeah.
And then he could have come up to me and said, hey, by the way, you're drinking a Belgian yeast IPA.
I wonder how many people he's already done that to.
Yeah.
And what's he talking about you in the back of the kitchen?
Right. As he's spitting in my, cheese fries or whatever I ordered.
Douchebag.
Is that something that happens to you, Joe, where people don't know this is a Belgian yeast beer?
I get two different answers. A lot of times I'll get people that smell it and they'll go right away, oh, it's a Belgo IPA.
Okay.
And then I get people that they don't get that characteristic out of it at all. So I get two different answers from different people. So
now, Tasty, you're like me, where you're not a big fan of the Belgio IPA. Could you smell or taste right away that this was a Belgian IPA?
Yeah, I could.
You could pick it up.
Because I'm sensitive. I guess I'm sensitive to it.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a citrus hop with Belgian yeast, I have a clash in my palate. It's like a
you pick up
place I don't like to be kind of thing.
Okay.
But this is done well. It's got the Fugel hops in there, which I think is a good start.
Yeah.
But then with the Cascade, that's probably what I'm picking up.
Okay. I think that maybe if it didn't have the spiciness that I'm really liking, I might have. I'd be with you. I'd have picked it up right away too. But it's that spicy flavor that threw me off.
There's a nice distraction there for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're dialing into that.
Yeah, that's what I picked up on. I like this beer. Now you said you're kind of low on this one too. So is that down to 65 fermentation also?
Yeah,
Right
it
there.
is.
Okay. And do you let this one rise at all or no?
I do let it rise also, but I hold it back just a little bit more than the blonde.
Okay. I like this beer.
No, it's well done.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job on this one. I would order a second pint.
I hate IPAs.
Yep, it's really pretty color.
But actually, this one I like because of the spiciness to it.
Yeah.
Usually, I would not have ordered this if you told me it was going to be an IPA.
Yeah.
But if I here, taste this, you might like this.
Right.
It was not what I expected.
Yeah.
In any way.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Do we have another one?
Yeah, well, we have two more, but this is where I get a little confused on order. So, rye porter or double IPA? I feel like you want to never do double IPA before anything, but then, I don't know about the color. You tell me, what's the order?
I go double IPA, just because we're in that IPA kind of thing, and see what's different from this IPA than the other one.
What do you think, Joe? Are we going to taste your rye porter if we taste your double IPA right now?
Yeah, you'll still taste the rye porter.
Okay.
I think double IPA is the way to go now since we just had the Hop Wrangler.
Bring them both up while you're down there, Mosk, and let's do them both so we can let Joe go at some point tonight.
Yeah.
Now, you got some seasonals that you do, too, but even your seasonals, you're also doing some Belgian beer. And one that I wanted to talk about was Cornucopia. And I think Doc might be interested in this beer a little bit because he likes brewing with different ingredients. Your Cornucopia, you're listing as a farmhouse-style ale, but you're brewing it with Iowa sweet corn.
Ooh.
We live in a farm community here in Knoxville. We're in a town of about 7,500, so it's a big farm community. And so when I first started there, I didn't know how many people here drank craft beer. And so I wanted to pique people's interest to come into the brewery that may not necessarily drink craft beer. And so I thought, what better way to use the sweet corn than to use a Saison yeast and do a farmhouse ale.
Yeah.
And it piqued a lot of people's interest, got them in the door, and a lot of those people that drink that beer come in now just to see what else we have on tap. So it's from year to year. This is our third season doing it, and it's we had calls every day. The day I brewed it, we had calls every day asking when it was going to come out, and it was gone instantly as soon as it was done. I did a 40 barrel batch, and that was it.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, you got to like that. That's something to be proud of. You know, you try to connect with the community, and when it works like that, that's fantastic.
Yeah, nobody likes to brew something like, that's not okay. And you got a whole bunch left.
Well, so here's my question, and I don't know that I'm phrasing the question right, to be honest, because I'm not sure if you have to malt corn. My question was going to be, how is the sweet corn malted, but I don't know that you malt.
Well, yeah, how did what form did you get it in? If you're getting it right from the farmer, you got to do some stuff.
That's what I'm getting at. There you go.
We got it straight from the farmer. We went out there and we picked it ourselves with the farmer, and what we did is we just cut the whole stalk down with the corn still on it. We bring it back to the brewery, and what we do is we shuck the corn. I'll cook the corn separate, and then once I get the corn to gelatinize at a higher temperature, I'll add it to the mash with the grain, and then the barley enzymes will break those starches down.
So you basically you cook that at a high temperature, like boiling when you're going to cook corn on the cob.
Right.
And
but you took it off the cob, right? Like you scraped it off the cob?
Scraped it off the cob.
Yeah.
We even threw cobs in the mash too.
Okay.
And then once I got it to the kettle, once we separated out the wort, I threw at the end of the boil. I throw the corn stalks in the boil as well.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
A lot of corny corn.
Yeah.
So let's reiterate.
Does it taste like herbicide?
Well, you got it from the farmer.
Yeah.
You shucked it and then boiled it, then put it in the mash.
Then put it in the mash.
Okay, good. And then you did the whole mash thing in the boil, and then you had a whole bunch of shucky things, so you threw that back in there too. Right?
So the stalks in the boil, what did that
the stalks
add
in
to
the boil
beer?
at that point.
What did that add to the beer? What were you thinking?
At that point, And what I do is I'll just slice them down the middle, and there's still some sugars in the stock itself as well.
Okay.
And then it also complements the earthiness of the Saison yeast as well.
Oh.
Now, and the corn itself is a highly fermentable sugar, right? Or is it not so much?
No, it is.
It is. Okay.
It's already sugar. It's not.
So it's a ton of sugar.
Yeah.
You're really dealing with some fermentables here.
Right, and the enzymes from the barley itself and the mash will break down those starches.
Got it.
So,
and
it'll be fermentable sugar.
What's the flavor to worry about in a Pilsner and things like that? Is it DMS that makes that corn flavor? It's DMS?
But that's a different...
Well, I know it's different, but
it's not corn, but it tastes like cooked corn.
Right. So what I'm getting at is this isn't something you were worried about, Joe?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't worried about it at all. I actually was trying to develop that corn flavor in there, but not DMS corn.
What was your boil time?
Not cooked corn, he's saying, like you're saying, Doc.
No, what was your boil time? 90 minutes ish.
That one I did 60 minutes.
Yeah, because it's about how if you boil enough, you won't get the DMS.
Okay,
but you can still get that fresh corn.
But you might not get DMS from real corn anyway.
No. It's a whole different flavor.
Okay, so this is what I'm just making sure about.
DMS tastes like corn, but it's not. It's
corn.
Not corn.
Yeah,
but it's not corn. So.
Okay. Oh, I want to try this beer. And why now? Is it sweet corn because that's what's grown local to you, or you chose that based on the beer?
A little of both. Mostly because that's what's grown locally here, and I wanted to use that in the best way that I could in a beer.
Got it. Oh, that's a good idea.
So this was sweet corn or
sweet
corn? Sweet corn.
Yeah.
Sweet corn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
it.
From a local farm here.
Okay. Oh, yeah. This is Pliny the Younger-ish.
All right, so now we've got your double IPA in front of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pliny the Younger. I haven't even smelled it yet.
Yeah, it is.
Great aroma.
Oh, it does have a great aroma.
It was the first thing I thought when I smelled and tasted it, but I didn't want to say it in case I was way off. But it's nice to know I wasn't.
You're not.
It really is very Pliny-esque.
Oh, the aroma is... it's piney, not Pliny, but a little piney. It's a little...
citrusy and piney. It's nice.
Oh, it's a fantastic aroma on this one.
Taste it.
Is this one Belgian yeast also?
It is. It's a 1214 as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'm not getting that classic Belgo-American flavor in this one.
No.
What hops did you use in this one, Joe?
That one I use some Citra, some Amarillo, some Zeus, and some Cascade.
Don't change anything. Whatever we say tonight, Joe, don't worry about it. Don't think about it tomorrow morning. You'd never change this beer.
No,
this is fantastic.
Invent a new beer. Don't change this one.
Right.
What is it that we're picking up on that's Pliny-esque like that?
It's the citrus, the balance. It's sweet, yet you're getting a lot of body to it, but it's not a heavy beer by any means.
No.
It's got a lot of hop body, sort of hop mouthfeel to it.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Hey, which is this on my? I'm looking on your website here. Which one is on your site?
No, this is fantastic.
This is the Hop Sutra double IPA.
Very nice.
Okay.
You show that bottle to the camera, Doc?
Yes, I could.
Oh, I love this beer.
It's my job.
Yeah, this one's something else. What's the ABV? Did we get that yet?
That one's 9% alcohol.
Yeah, you bastard.
Hey, a man after my own.
But again, now I can imagine. I'll be honest. If I had a full pint of this, it would be a heck of a beer to drink. I don't know that I'd have several pints, I guess is what I mean. But it still has a great attenuation compared with the amount of flavor that's coming out of this beer. But most of it, I think, is hop flavor.
Yeah.
And not hop bitterness, but hop flavor.
Well, you get hop bitterness, you're going to get hop flavor. You also get, like Tasty said, the mouthfeel from it. You're going to get the fullness that you're going to get from just the roundness of the hops.
Oh, this could go to any hop head in America, and they'd be happy about it.
What you said about, can you finish a whole pint of it? But
I could.
If you had a 10 taster set, which one would be your favorite?
This one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. This is my 10 ounce. Do you serve? How do you serve this at the pub, Joe?
5-gallon bucket.
We serve it both in half pints and in full pints in tulip glasses.
Yeah, and tulip. Yeah, well, that's nice. I like the tulip glass. Yeah, that's a good idea. I would want a 10-ouncer of this one. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And then I'd order 2. That's what would happen. I'd order 2 10-ouncers. And I'd leave feeling great.
And then you get a cab home.
Yeah. This is a great beer.
It is.
And now, like Tasty mentioned, this might have been the one to fool him on the Belgian yeast.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone for that.
Oh, yeah.
Anything done different here in that regard, or is it just the amount of flavor?
Just the amount of flavor and the hops. And the barley. So the grain bill is quite a bit higher, and the hops, there's 2.5 times the amount of hops that are in the hop wrangler in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got enough citrus hop to override the phenols in the yeast.
Yeah.
It's covering all that up.
I think you could give this to the Belgian brewers, Tasty, and they would be surprised at what you did with their yeast. I mean, they would go... I remember when Ashoof wanted to do their first Belgian IPA. Mm-hmm. And Sully worked with them on that. And they wanted to use Amarillo, a hop that's in this. Citra, I think, wasn't being used so much back then. And the American brewers came over and advised them to throw a bunch of hops in, and they were a bit appalled by that. And the product was okay. It was one of those examples that I thought, well, see, here's where the Belgian yeast doesn't work with the hoppy beer. I think if you gave this to those same brewers, they would be surprised at what the Belgian yeast did compared to the hops.
Yep.
I really do. Because it's a very unique character that you've come out with. I could have said this was an English yeast just as well.
Yeah, it seems almost yeast neutral.
Yeah.
I wonder what this beer would be like if it was fermented with a neutral yeast.
Yeah, that's a good question. Have you tried that, Joe?
Because I was talking to one of my assistant brewers actually Friday, and I told him I wanted to do the Hop Sutra with the American ale yeast just to see think of it and how it compares next to each other.
Do it.
Or break out those carboys you're using with that Sapco system and put some of that wort in there, different yeast.
I think it'd be just the hops would come out too sharp, too bitter, too lingering.
Right.
It wouldn't have that balance that I actually really like this.
Oh, it's great. And Doc doesn't like hoppy beers.
I don't like hoppy beers, but this is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is. I would like to try it just because too. Like, just do it in your carboy, like Tasty said, Joe.
Yeah.
Just a little side by
What are you
side.
doing this Saturday? Come on.
Yeah, come on. You got nothing else to do, Joe.
Come on.
It's not like you're brewing very often.
So, Joe, I grew up in a town in Illinois,
called Chicago?
known for corn as well, and it was like 5,000 people. I can imagine what's 75 is not that much bigger. How many people were fans of craft beer in Knoxville when you opened this place up?
Yeah.
They must have been amazed that you were these beers. They've never had beers like those before, I assume, right?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect exactly when I came here, but the town has been amazingly supportive, and so everybody that likes drinking beer, at least came in and tried the beer. And not necessarily all craft beer drinkers, but I think we gained quite a few craft beer drinkers since we opened. And so the support's been phenomenal since we've started. And our tap room's, pretty full on the week, the end of the week and weekends. So it's pretty nice.
Oh, that's good to hear. It's a good story. Craft beer everywhere. It's working, Tasty.
Well, it's like good food. People know the difference, even if you haven't had it before.
Yeah.
When you do have it, you can tell it's good.
All right, we're about to try the rye porter as well, but I got some questions from the chat room for you, Joe. If I can go through those, they're going to be kind of all over the board because they're from the kind of from the whole interview. So we might go backwards a little bit here, but
really?
Let's see what we got here. So here's one from when we were talking about going from home brewer to pro brewer, and one of our listeners in the chat wants to know what was so eye-opening at the brewery as compared to the home brewer experience. What really stood out when you were on a pro system? Even anything would work. Something that stands out.
Make something up.
Just answer any question. It doesn't need to be that one. What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
JP.
It was. I think the first time I worked on a pro system, I think it was just I was a little intimidated by it, but it really is pretty close to the same thing. You know, once you get past the sheer size of everything and see how everything works, it's pretty similar. So it's amazing to see that how similar they actually are, from going from 5 gallons to, let's say when I was at Cold Spring, we would do 100 barrel batches or 200 barrel batches there. Once you got over the whole size of it, it really was the same thing overall, the process.
Okay. All right, cornhole in the chat room. One of my favorite games, by the way.
That sweet cornhole.
Wants me to ask you about the growth of the company over these last few years. You guys grown quite a bit?
We are. We've almost doubled each year so far since we've started. You know, when we first started, we did a little over 1,000 barrels. Last year we did close to 2,000 barrels. This year we'll probably be, I think, around 2,500 barrels, and then next year we'll probably see quite a bit of growth. So we've been doing pretty well. It's been nice.
Okay.
Well, how far do you distribute there, Joe? Obviously, they're not drinking all the beer in Knoxville. How far do you reach out? You just in Idaho or any other states?
We just stepped into Omaha, Nebraska, and we're working with some people in Kansas. And then our next step, we're possibly going to go to Minneapolis area, Minnesota.
Oh, that's using a connection you had up there from before, or just randomly happens to be Minnesota?
We'd probably just focus on the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. Where I was at, I was more towards like St. Cloud area,
so
it'd be a little bit different area.
Even a different area, okay.
All right. One of our listeners in the chat, I don't know how to pronounce his chat room name, wants me to ask you what you think of the Belgian Bastogne Orval strain of yeast.
I haven't played around with it enough to compare it to what I'm doing with mine. I picked a few different Belgian strains when I was doing some experimental batches, and this one just kind of stuck out to me for some reason, and so I just kind of worked with this one right away. And so it's kind of hard for me to compare that one to the one I'm using mostly right now. But.
Okay. All right. There's a couple more questions, but some of them I think we've already covered in the chat room there. But we did just open your rye porter, and this is another one brewed with a Belgian yeast.
Yeah, you would never know.
That I'm not tasting the Belgian yeast. Although I am enjoying the attenuation. Once again, a really nice attenuation with a bunch of chocolate, I think, and roast flavor. What do you think of that one, Tasty?
I do love it. It's more chocolate and less roast.
Yeah.
Which is what I like about it.
And you know what's weird is, weird to me, I like a good porter, but oftentimes when I order a porter, I actually don't think they've brewed a very good porter in terms of the style, which is that it should be somewhat well attenuated. And it should have some nice roast flavors while also not being a sweet beer. It should be a very drinkable beer. A porter should be a really drinkable beer. And I think oftentimes I don't find a very drinkable porter, so I shy away from it. But this one is super well attenuated.
Yep.
I hope, and I have the feeling that Joe is going to tell us this is malt again and not just yeast.
Yeah, it's a little of both, and mash temperature again also plays into that quite a bit.
Okay.
A little bit on the lower side. If I went up any higher, you start getting a syrupy characteristic to it. So
yeah,
I let it attenuate down a little bit, and that the yeast helps with that too.
Yeah, porter's one of these styles that if I'm at a bar, and I'm going to pay $6 or $7 for a pint, whatever it is, I want to order it because if it's good, it'll be great. But if it's not, it's like I just ordered molasses, right? I ordered a soup.
So what's your 10 out of 10? 8, you failed, and 2 is good?
No, I think I'm a little more harsh on a porter. I think it's got to be an 8 for me to like it.
No, you order 10.
Oh.
And 8 of them suck.
Oh, I see. Yeah, 8 out of 10 suck. 8 out of 10 suck. This one, however, I could order 2 of these. It's
made the 2 out of 10.
Yeah. What is the malt profile on this? What's the malt bill look like?
It's got about 20% malted rye, some chocolate rye.
Chocolate rye. Is that something we can get, Tasty, at the homebrew shop?
I've heard of it. I don't know if I haven't seen it.
Certain ones you can get it.
Okay. I don't think I've heard of chocolate rye before, but I like that.
We have the internet. We can find whatever we want.
It's just roasted to a higher, lullaby.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. All right. Go on. Sorry, Joe.
And then it's got your basic chocolate malt, some little bit of black debittered malt, light on the debittered though, and a little bit of small amount of Munich as well.
Okay. I like this beer.
Yeah, it's not too roasty.
Yeah. Can you brew this beer for us, Doc?
Yeah.
This is a recipe I want. This one's good.
It's nice.
Yeah. It's really well done. And then, but Belgian yeast again.
Yeah, which Belgian are you using? The 1214 again?
14 for this one as well, yeah.
Wow. This is your workhorse yeast, man.
He knows it really well, obviously.
Yeah.
It's got the sharp phenolics, which obviously, and that blended with the rye, which has spiciness to it.
Yeah.
You found Justin's Achilles heel, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I would tend to call Joe a nutcase if I look... All right, here's what I did. Here's what happened.
Apropos of nothing.
Here's what happened. Before the show, I looked at Joe's beer lineup on the website, and I said, he's a fucking nutcase. He's doing all these American styles with Belgian yeast. And I thought, either he's going to be great, and this is going to be a good interview, or all the beers are going to be like Belgian IPAs that I don't like, and this is going to suck. And it turns out, Joe has some secret to... not even knowing that there's Belgian yeast in these beers.
His secret, he actually isn't using Belgian yeast at all.
Yeah. His secret, it's all Cal Ale.
I suspect his secret is he doesn't like them either. The ones you don't like, he doesn't like as well. So he's, made these beers.
So that's kind of my point, Tasty, actually, is why even use it?
Yeah.
Now, I know.
If you're going to, push it down to the point where it doesn't even be Belgian-y?
Well... Now, Joe, I already know that the answer is that because it's doing something to this beer that you and I really like. So I know that. But I'm still, the question kind of remains, I don't know how you even got here. Most people who would choose to use Belgian yeast for all these styles would want to accentuate the Belgian yeast. Yep. You, for some reason, chose to use Belgian yeast, but didn't want to accentuate. Do you see what I'm getting at? This is where I'm boggled.
I wanted to do some beers that... in a way that nobody else is really doing in our area. And so this was my way of producing these American styles in a completely different way than everybody else around here is doing. So that was kind of my take on what I was doing with the Belgian yeast.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the Belgians, who are starting to kind of take cues from American brewers...
the other way around?
The other way around, exactly. And they have been for a few years. Should call Joe. Joe's the guy they should call, because they're when they produce these Belgian IPAs and these things that we're not liking, they ought to call Joe, because he's doing it in a way that I think is a really great marriage between the Belgian yeast and the fantastic American style. This beer is awesome. This porter is fantastic.
It's you want to have something on a porter that's just a little. You got the malt and the darkness, and most. We'll balance it with roast.
Yeah.
There's no roast in this.
Yeah.
It's all, but it balances it with spice.
Yep.
It's got the rye spice and the yeast spice.
Yeah.
So, Doc, when you copy this recipe, are you going to use Belgian yeast? I mean,
no, of course I am.
Yeah, you'll just do the exact.
And with most yeast,
but
it's about how you play with the yeast,
right? But that's the scary part, isn't it? Because it's so good recipe wise, right, that you'd be worried. Not you per se, but you get the proverbial you.
Everybody else
to use the Belgian yeast. Because you wouldn't want it to turn out too estery or, Belgian-y for that matter.
Well, I being as anal as I am, I'm going to be looking at all the other yeasts and the yeast profiles.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to do something different.
Yeah.
Like Joe's doing. So or try just this one. But with this porter, it's about balance.
And you wouldn't enter, for example, you wouldn't enter this beer into the Belgian category if you were going into competition. You'd enter this into the porter category.
There's a Belgian specialty that it might work.
But you could also enter this into porter, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it'd do fine.
One thing that we found difficult is entering the beers in certain categories.
Like a GABF?
Really fit,
Yeah. What did you enter this beer?
I'm trying to think if we entered this year. We did not. No.
You didn't. You should. And I think I'd go straight porter. I wouldn't even go Belgian.
Well, the GABF categories are different than our homebrew ones.
That's true.
It's an awesome beer. Period. Figure out where it goes and put it there.
Just put it there.
Just put it there.
Did you enter the double IPA?
We did last year, yeah.
You did. That's another good beer.
So if someone with less skill than you, Doc, and less precision wanted to make this beer, could they get really close by doing everything exact, but not with Belgian yeast?
You'd fuck it up.
You would?
No,
I'm sort of joking. I'm making fun of you and
it
me.
would take a lot of experimentation, because if somebody doesn't have the experience, they wouldn't know what they're after.
Well, it's fermentation, right?
Yeah. At this point, it's you're cutting out something in this porter. You're cutting out the roastiness, which is going to balance out usually the maltiness. You're cutting that out, and then you're going to supplant that with this yeast characteristic. The yeast characteristic is going to be from your temperature, the way you're playing with this yeast.
Right.
You ferment it too high, you got to get what Justin said, too much Belgian-y characteristic.
Yeah.
You get too much banana, too much clove. You don't want that. You want to have phenolics and spiciness, which will balance out the awesome maltiness that is in this.
Joe, are you the only brewer in America whose house yeast is 1214?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Just say yes and wink, wink, nod, nod.
You might be. I think you might be. Yeah.
But you balanced this one really, really well. This is probably the best one of the bunch.
So I think we cover. I'm just looking over questions from our chat too. Aaron from Western New York is in there and just wants to know, what are the fermentation temps used to keep the Belgian yeast from being overwhelming? And I think we kind of covered this. You like to go low, right?
Start off low, and then I don't touch it until it gets close to 80. So
okay, is that true on this porter, for example? Would that go as high as 80?
Yep.
Wow, that surprises the hell out of me.
Well, he lets it free rise. Most of the stuff gets done in the beginning.
Okay.
And he wants to get rid of any kind of diacetyl. You taste any diacetyl in that?
Nothing.
None.
And maybe that's part of the cleanliness. Even.
Yeah,
it's really cleaning up.
It does. It really cleans it up. You don't get that lingering butterscotchy laying on your tongue kind of stuff.
So you start at 64, and then just let that fucker rise.
Yep.
You can make that into a bumper sticker if you want.
Let it rise?
Put it on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have room in between the Obama and coexist stickers on his own car.
Yeah, right. Now, I always hate to ask this because it kind of puts our interviewees on the spot
But you're still gonna ask.
if you don't have the info in front of you. But people always want a recipe, like a full recipe. Is there anything that you'd be able, even if it's just percentage-wise, that you'd be willing or able to give a recipe on any of these beers? Our listeners want to brew it.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Can I post something to you guys?
Yeah, that's fine. If you email it to Scott, who booked you, then we can put it on the forum that way, and that'd be fine too. But I know, for example, I'm just reading their minds, that this porter would be a perfect one, and so would the double IPA. But if you have something else in mind, it's entirely up to you. They were all fantastic, but I know that either one of those they just love. So, you can just email it to Scott.
I'll talk to the guys here at the brewery and see what we can come up with.
Okay, cool. Yeah, everyone always wants to brew this stuff at home, especially when we rave about it like these. Well, good job, Joe. I appreciate you sending the beer and spending time with us. Not only did we get to drink good Belgian-style beer that we wouldn't have expected, but I think we got a good buzz.
Yeah, no kidding. Nothing under 6.
Yeah. We should be careful when we're like, no, you have to send us beer for the interview. Yeah. Could you please send us stuff that's under 8%? Yeah.
Oh, which part of Belgian didn't you understand?
I know. No, it's really good stuff, Joe, and I thank you for sending it in and spending time on the show, man. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, no problem. There you go. You can check out Joe Kestelut at Peachtree Brewing Company in Knoxville, Iowa. And he's a good dude and doing some good stuff. I think he's understating how good he is as a yeast wrangler with these Belgian yeasts.
Definitely.
So go check him out. And, hey, Joe, before you go, if you're still there, where can people get your beer? Is it only in Iowa?
It's mostly in Iowa. It just appeared in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
And Kansas. It'll be in Kansas here pretty soon.
Got it. And you're not, I mean, you guys are looking at like 4,000 barrels for this year, right? So distribution-wise, we're going to have to search for you.
Yeah. Okay. We're still pretty small right now, but...
Well, good. That's all right.
Yeah, and you can always just send Joe an email and be like, I do an internet radio show. And, we'll send you some bottles.
He'll send you beer.
Oh, yeah. Try that con. It worked for us.
Well, listen, next time I'm in Iowa, Joe, I'm trying to remember the last time I was in Iowa.
When was the first time?
Right. I will be coming by because it's worth it. This beer's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
You can see why they're winning hearts and changing minds.
Well, if nothing else, it's worth experimenting.
Yeah.
Just to do different yeast with different styles.
And I want to try the cornucopia, the sweet corn beer, too. So, all right, Joe. Thanks, brother.
All right, thanks, guys.
Have a good one. Cheers. There you go. It's Joe Kestelut. He's from Peachtree Brewing Company in Knoxville, Iowa. And I don't know if you're passing through, go check him out. If you're in Iowa and you don't know about Joe yet, you should know. He'd be my favorite Iowa brewer. In fact, I think it's safe to say Joe's my favorite Iowa brewer.
It's official. Do you remember what the receptionist sounded like answering the phones over there? Peachtree, can we do something for you? What was it? I liked your invitation last week.
Welcome to Peachtree Brewing Company.
Have a beer or don't. We don't judge.
Well, we don't care. It's fine either way, as long as you're happy.
How can I direct your call?
Yeah, this is how I picture Peachtree is. Well,
I never thought you'd be a fan of porter ever.
And it's only because we screw it up so often here in America. To be honest with you,
come on, Justin, let's get a porter. And I see that you grimace.
Really? Oh, I do, and I see it on the menu, and I go, I wish that could be good. I'll have the pale ale instead. But I'll tell you what, this is a really nice porter.
It is. It's great.
And it balances for a whole different reason.
Yeah, and I can't believe it's Belgian yeast. I can't believe it's not.
I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah.
He should have a bumper sticker that says, I can't believe it's not Cal Ale. Cal Ale.
Is this the first brewer that has really sort of done this with the Belgian yeast where it's not detectable? Because like you were saying, that's not even what they're going for in the first place.
So I think usually I'm going to do it with a Belgian yeast. I'm going to make it.
And it's what they're going
Belgian-y.
for. Yeah. In other words, they adapt the rest of the recipe to the yeast.
Yeah.
It seems to me that he's adapted the yeast to the beer, to the recipe. Really an opposite approach. And I think it worked for the most part.
At low temperatures, yeast do one thing, and at higher temperatures, they do another. And he's worked that into the recipe quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, I like it.
Very nice.
All right, I have to pee like there was no business other than peeing.
You're not even standing.
Oh, my God. I was about to. I was going to pee dance, but Joe is still being very engaged, and I didn't want you to start laughing at me pee dancing while Joe was speaking.
But you usually stand up. And
I got to go.
Okay, good.
When we come back, Doc's going to walk us through a Belgian Golden Strong Ale, and we've got one of his to try, as if that's what we need.
One that I actually forgot that I had in the archives.
We'll be right back. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Where can you still find $7.95 nationwide shipping, a friendly, knowledgeable staff, and all of the stuff to brew for less? Homebrew Stuff.
Isn't the homebrew stuff a sexual maneuver?
Homebrew Stuff is the largest homebrew supplier in the Northwest and can be found in Garden City, Idaho, and online at homebrewstuff.com. Equipment and ingredients for brewing beer and wine, soda and liquors, books, instructional DVDs, beginner kits, and a great selection of grain and hops. Homebrew Stuff also has dozens of free videos online to help make brewing easier. Visit homebrewstuff.com now for the best prices with their match or beat guarantee. BN Army members can take 10% off their first order with the coupon code BNARMY. Kegs, regulators, faucets, towers, carboys, conicals, barrels, you name it. Get your homebrew stuff for less at homebrewstuff.com. Homebrew Stuff. Not a sexual maneuver. Just the best prices and great service on all the stuff you need. Homebrewstuff.com.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy f***ing shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Tonight is the night.
We bring the creature to life, Dr. Blickmanstein?
Yes, J.P. Gore. Everything is perfect for my next fermented creation.
My father, the storm is too far away. We'll never have enough power to isomerize the creature's alpha acid.
Yes, J.P. Gore, we will. For I have in my possession the Tower of Power.
Blickman's new Tower of Power is the evolution of automation. Control hot liquor, sparge, and mash temps like a pro. The Tower of Power is a high-quality gas-fired rim system that works with your current brewing setup. With ultra-precision, the tower can hold your mash to 1/2 of a degree Fahrenheit. Precision and repeatability. The Tower of Power is the answer to automatic, fast ramp times. See more at BlickmanEngineering.com. Bring your next creation to life with the Tower of Power.
Dr. Blickmanstein, with the Tower of Power, you can probably give me an afternoon at the pub to enjoy a pint.
Don't be silly, J.P. Gore. We have beer to brew.
What does craft beer mean to you? Is it a delicious way to support your town's local brewer? Or perhaps it's the perfect beverage to pair with those delicious meals at your favorite restaurant and at home. Regardless of whether you're thinking of pints or pairings, pilsners or porters, craftbeer.com is the site where craft beer lovers come together to learn and share. Craftbeer.com is brought to you by the Brewers Association and celebrates the best of American craft beer and its brewers. Craftbeer.com is the best place to find craft beer events, recipes, great feature stories, the most up-to-date brewery listings, and resources for your next beer tasting or dinner, like style guidelines, pairing mats, and charts. Get the inside scoop on new beer releases and special events from today's craft beer insiders, and chime in to share your own knowledge, perfect pairings, road trips, recipes, and more. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
BN Army, HopTech has a great discount waiting for you. Do you often find it difficult to find specific specialty ingredients for your homebrew recipes? Well, listen to this. HopTech stocks 59 different grains to choose from, 39 varieties of pellet hops, and 8 kinds of whole leaf hops. And HopTech not only carries Y yeast and White Labs yeast for you, but also Fermentus, 04, 5, 6, 23, 33, and T58 Belgian yeast, plus Cooper's, Nottingham, and Windsor yeasts. Got your recipe ready to go? Pick up some great brew gear like new long and short sleeved shirts, games, and more. HopTech's new website is being updated every day with new items. If you don't see it, call the shop. They're open 6 days a week. BN Army and AHA members get a 10% discount, and active military personnel get 15% off. Visit HopTech.com today for great selection, great service, and a great discount. HopTech.com.
1-888-401-BEER.
This is the session.
Right.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Wow, I just made it back in time for the show.
Yeah, I'm the only hard-out rejoiner. It just ends.
I told you I had to pee real bad.
A long pee?
Oh, it's a real long pee.
Oh, like an old man pee.
Made it back just in time. You have something for us, Monica?
Oh, no, I just wanted to remind you that the segment we're about to do is brought to you by Homebrew Stuff.
Oh, yeah. Go to homebrewstuff.com right now, a brand new sponsor of ours who we're happy to have. And I checked out their website. It's a fantastic-looking website with a whole bunch of good stuff on it. Homebrewstuff.com, all the stuff you need to brew. You can like them on Facebook. Just search, I did it today. I searched Homebrew Stuff, and it popped right up. It's the first one that comes up there. And you go to it, and you can find things like, I think they're having a dented equipment sale right now. So, you know, like... they order these big, like, stainless steel kettles, homebrew shops, and things like that. And sometimes in transit they get dented, and they can't then sell those things for the normal price. Although, you know, it's not their fault they got dented.
Yeah, and half the time you can't even see that stuff.
And who gives a shit anyway? As long as the spout works and everything else. So
it'll get dented eventually anyway.
I think I looked on their Facebook today, and they're doing like a dented equipment sale, and those are always a good time if you're looking for a gift for your favorite somebody, or just looking to upgrade, you know, some part of your system. That's a good way to do it. It's cool that an online shop does that, because sometimes you have to go to your local homebrew shop to get the dented equipment sale. So I like that homebrewstuff.com is putting it all online.
Yeah, it's just like the last display model, and you have to be in the store. Yeah.
Love it. So go check out homebrewstuff.com. They're bringing you this segment right now, which is going to be actually Doc teaching us about the Belgian blonde style. And here's what happened. We knew we were having Joe from Peachtree Brewing Company on the show today, and we thought, well, he's going to be covering some non-traditional Belgian styles, basically the things we just talked about, like a porter and an amber ale and things like that. And we thought we'd wrap it up with a homebrew segment about a traditional Belgian style, which is similar to Joe's first beer that he gave us, which is a Belgian blonde ale. And I think that's what you're covering for us, Doc?
No.
Belgian Golden Strong.
Golden Strong.
There we go. Whatever.
Well,
it is different, isn't it?
Well, the Belgian blonde is a lot more hoppy. And you know me.
Oh, yeah. You prefer the Golden Strong.
Yes. Why?
Now, Doc, I do believe, subscribes to the Vinnie Cilurzo philosophy of the Belgian blonde ale. And that is that it's the perfect hangover beer.
Oh, yes.
So you make it good, you make it clean, you make it strong.
And really light, easy to drink, and fizzy.
But higher in alcohol so that you don't even know that how much you're helping yourself out with your first beer of the day. Because it can't taste like alcohol, can it, on your first beer of the day?
No, you want to have it like a mimosa. I'm drinking orange juice.
Yeah. Now, yours is corked and caged.
Yes.
You've gone through the trouble of even corking and caging your Belgian. Now, I do see that you're
struggling.
Your cage broke off.
We'll get to the beer.
Doc's cage broke. How long has this been sitting around for you?
Well, I forgot about it. Moscow sent out the thing and said, who's got some Belgians with some Belgian ales? And I go, let me check the archives. And I looked deep and dark, and I found like 6 bottles of this that I forgot about.
What are we thinking? 1 year, 2 years?
About a year.
A year, okay.
Yeah, and this was actually an experiment to see natural carbonation and how much. Thank you. How much can I put a lot of carbonation in this and still have it, ferment down?
Because now, so you bottle condition this, but what you're saying, is that part of the style, the Belgian Golden Strong, that it should be highly carbonated?
Yes,
it is. Okay,
yeah,
very effervescent.
Very effervescent, very light. But it's a very strong beer, so you have issues with being able to ferment all the way down.
Yeah,
and then when you try to re-ferment in the bottle, you got to add more yeast to it, and hopefully it will carbonate. I've got a triple that I brought along if you want to try it later.
Sure. I mean, why not? We've already had a bunch of 9% beers tonight.
This one might have made it, but a lot of them failed that they just did not carbonate. This one I know is carbonated.
Okay.
And this is what I was trying to do, trying to get like 4 volumes of carbonate, which is a lot. And having a really light. This is basically
what would an average be if you're saying 4 volumes?
Pale ale is about 2.5.
I see.
2.4. This is 4. This is like
4 is spritzy. You can't get it in the glass without it foaming.
This is like champagne.
Okay.
So, but when you
that's a nice pop, and I can see the CO2 mist coming out of it.
When you say about a year, aren't you normally really meticulous with your date stamping?
It was okay. It was last December.
He was trying to sound less anal, Moscow.
Yes,
all right, thanks for ruining.
No,
it for him.
What do you mean though? That's a good thing.
No, it is. Yeah. Now, Tasty, is this a style that you? I don't see you as a Belgian beer guy in general. Is this one that you can get into?
I've made Belgian beers.
You have?
Yeah, a long time ago, I was trying to make a lot of different styles, and
okay.
I think I've actually had a Golden Strong place in the
national
in the second round, I think.
All right. Because even when we were kind of thinking about our staff and who could present this, I didn't put you on the list. I said, well, ask Nathan and ask Doc if they have a beer.
No, I wouldn't have one around.
Yeah.
Nate might.
Because you don't do it that often. Nate actually had a bunch, but he wasn't going to be here today, too. So otherwise, we would have had them both do it.
I actually didn't think I'd have one, and I hit the golden...
Right.
The Holy Grail here. Oh, look at that. I forgot all about them.
But, Tasty, will you order this at a bar? If you go to Ole in Walnut Creek, for example, or something, and you see a Belgian Golden Strong, is it something you'll order?
Sure.
Oh,
it's
you
a
will?
Belgian beer bar. That's why I'm there.
You like it? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I would drink that. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like you say you would, and you really
I'll give you their number. Call them and ask them. They'll tell you. I will.
So you will? Okay. All right. Well, I like to hear that.
Only because they only have like 2 hoppy beers. And if I don't want either one of those, then I'll say, well, I'm going to go with
I'm just trying to imagine.
Triple or,
I'm trying to imagine the scenario in which you don't want one of those 2 hoppy beers.
Every now and then. That's the scenario.
Well, if it's my first stop, I definitely want hoppy. But if it's my last stop, which often it is, I'm looking for sour or something Belgian.
Right. Okay. Now, here's when we called Doc, too, I know that Doc's picky. So if we said, and we did, do you have any Belgian beers to showcase? If he had a Belgian beer that he didn't like, he would have said no. I would have. Yes, I have Belgian beer. No, I have nothing I'd like to talk to you about. But this was a beer that you ended up finding and tasting, and you liked it.
Yeah, I did. I forgot it was even there. I had like 8 bottles, corked and caged 750s.
What did you like about it when you tasted it that made you go, yeah?
It had a very Belgian quality to it. It was very light, very fizzy. It's supposed to be a Duvel clone.
Oh, it's fizzy as hell.
I know.
Wow.
So weren't you watching him pour it?
Spinning around. I know, spinning around a little bit.
Okay.
Again, this is an experiment to see if I could...
Do you think that's more than 4 volumes, or that's 4 volumes?
Shh. Maybe. But most judges will swirl it around and like knock a lot of volumes out of it.
It looks like a jacuzzi.
The problem with high CO2 beers is it's hard to pour.
Yeah.
And if you notice, I pulled it right out of the ice.
Okay.
Don't let it sit at room temperature for even 5 minutes, or you're going to have a gusher.
You won't
even get it in the glass.
Okay.
And once you do that, then you can get it in the glass, and then everybody can like deal with it how they want to deal with it.
Okay.
And so this one, I try to keep the phenolics and the esters down.
Yeah.
So I actually brewed this one at a lower temperature straight through. I didn't let it rise until near the end because I wanted to clean it up.
So what was lower? What was your fermentation temp?
It was about 65-ish.
And you kept it down there?
Right there. And then
until when?
Well, until I add... this is a sequential added sugar thing.
Okay.
This has got 20% sugar in it.
Wow.
So this is a lot of sugar. So you can't throw that all in at once. So it's a little and a little and a little until I figured it was done fermenting. And then I started raising the temperature up at that
So
point.
the whole time you were adding sugar, you kept it down at 65.
Yep. And every time I did, it just pumped it right back up again.
And what was the point of adding all that sugar?
To get the alcohol up and the body down.
Okay.
This started out as like almost a 1090 beer, and I got it down about 1009.
Wow.
It takes a lot of work to get it that way.
Moscow, could you call the cab company for us all now?
Yeah. 333. Can you taste the alcohol in there?
Yeah, by the way, Susie's cab has to go all the way back to fucking Redwood City or wherever the hell, whatever planet she lives on.
But he's not drunk. But can you taste the alcohol in that? Not really.
No, not at all.
Is there like kind of gingerbready? What am I getting?
You're gonna get the gingerbread. You're gonna. I get,
good call, Mosky.
I get peaches and plums in this thing. So the esters are going to come through in this thing.
They are, and there's some clove ester in there.
Right.
Some of these things you're
There's
looking
no
at.
heat, though.
Yeah, the phenolics are going to be that spiciness and the cloves, and the esters are going to be the fruity flavors, but not too much. That's why I kept it really down. I wanted to have more of a clean beer.
Yeah.
On this thing.
Now I have to admit to you, if I'm being honest, the large amount of carbonation also cleans up the palate, doesn't it?
A lot.
No, I don't mean it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you were going for. In other words, however the carbonation were to come out on this, you want it higher to help with that. Is what I'm getting.
Yeah,
at.
because these beers can have a tendency to be like super, like overly sweet on the palate.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
And I could see how this could risk that, but it's very effervescent. It doesn't. It cleans it up.
I want it to be like champagne, like you're drinking a mimosa in the morning.
Oh, and it's done that.
Yes.
I could have this tomorrow to cure me having it tonight.
I'll leave you with the other one.
You're right,
because I brought two.
Suzer, winner of the California Homebrew Club of the Year. How do you like this beer?
I like it a lot.
Girl who doesn't get hangovers anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's not true. I had one in like 6 years ago.
You did in the 5th grade.
In the 5th grade.
Yeah.
What's more of a panty dropper beer, this one or the
This
blonde
one.
from this one? Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
This one is, isn't it? Yeah.
I was going to ask Doc if you brought another bottle for me since I can't drink that much right now. I'm looking at it. I'm like, no.
She can have mine. I'll have an Advil instead in the morning.
I'll send one home with you.
Okay.
You just think of me when you're having sex. That's all.
That's all he has. In fact, you don't even have to.
Tonight.
You don't even have to report back. You just have to. He just has to know in his mind that that's what you did.
I'll know up here.
All right. So you tell us about your planning of this beer.
Okay, so this beer, I wanted to have it highly fermentable.
Okay.
And so since I can step mash, I'm going to do a step mash. I usually do a protein rest early on. It was just like 122.
Okay.
And then most of the sacrification rest is going to be low 40s. You're going to worry about this if it's about 142, 143.
All right.
Which most people would not even think about doing. Then I mash out at 165.
So really just the two steps except for a mash out.
Right, and then I mash it out.
Okay.
Then it's all fermentation.
Okay.
Yeah, the big thing is it's going to be these beers, you really need a big pitch.
Okay.
And you want to have a lot of oxygen. With a heavy beer or very concentrated beer, it's going to be hard to get all that oxygen in there. So if you're just using the shake method, at best you're going to get about 8.5 parts per million.
So in a carboy, you just shake it up.
Right.
Okay.
That's gonna that you have to do that period, but you really, for this kind of beer, you want to have 15 parts per million. So it's not that hard to do. You get a stone and pure oxygen for 2 minutes.
You can get that at more beer pretty cheap.
Yeah. So the stone breaks up the bubbles, so it diffuses into it. What I do is when I come back, usually, and when I'm done brewing, it's at night. I throw the oxygen in there
for 2 minutes,
and then when I come back in the morning, if it's still not bubbling, I will throw more oxygen in there because the oxygen bubbles off. Your parts per million are not going to stay in there. It's not like the yeast just use it all, but it's just going to bubble off, and you're going to lose it that way. So I put it back in there.
I call that the Doc method of oxygen, by the way, and I do that in my head. I did that with a beer recently. Well, not all that recently, but I brewed a few months ago, and I thought that I had oxygenated properly, but when and pitched properly. But when I went out there 12 hours later, it wasn't going like I thought it would be. In fact, it wasn't going at all. So I did it again. Because you have always said on the show, if you're not seeing active fermentation, it's okay to add more oxygen.
Yeah, it's safe.
You're not going to be oxygenate.
You won't be putting oxygen in a bad time of the fermentation.
Thank you. Yeah.
So it's safe to do it again. Make sure all your seals are good. If you've got a carboy, it's real easy.
You got one seal, yeah.
Yeah. So once that's good, if I come in at lunchtime, I can go back home at lunch, and if it's still not going, I'll oxygenate again.
Wow.
For these big beers, sometimes it takes a while because these yeast know there's so much sugars in there to go for. They're going to keep
building up.
They're still building up. So I'm going to put more oxygen in there.
It's like a big pep rally.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
So as soon as I see fermentation kind of starting to happen, then I back off, and I'm not going to do it anymore.
Okay. All right.
But you can't just let it go nutty, because with a big beer like this, you could have, if you're just in the corner of the kitchen, and it ramps up quickly to 75, it's not going to be a happy fun beer. It's going to be a headache beer.
It's going to be a clovey, and by headache you mean some of those alcohol phenols,
right?
That literally give you a headache.
Yeah, they're the higher. You taste like nail polish, kind of solventy kind of things.
Okay.
It'll ferment real fast. You're going great, but you're there's something there that isn't clean in it, and you're going to get the headache kind of feeling.
Right.
So you got to plan ahead for this thing.
You're not looking to stress the yeast in any way in this beer.
I don't know.
You want a big pitch and a little cooler and a lot of oxygen.
Right.
And then let it do its thing.
And there's a lot of different ways to do it, and I'm the big pitch, a lot of oxygen, low temperature kind of guy.
Tasty? You like that?
Yeah, I think low temperature is the way to rock with a beer like this. Like he says, that can constrain the ferment and, save some of that impact for late in the ferment, because beers like this tend to not finish the way you want them to. They'll be finished too high. Like
10, 30,
you didn't get
10,
to
25,
without making a goal in life to get it to 009.
Yeah, you can get 009 and have that solventy kind of like high alcohol, that kind of nasty beer. You don't want to do that. You want to have a really clean, a champagne type beer.
Okay. But of course, like Tasty's saying, even getting to 009 or 09 is a feat.
It is.
So this is where the adding sugar comes in, right?
Right.
Okay. So
if you give them all the sugar in the ferment or in the boil, they're gonna know it's there, and they're not gonna make the enzymes that they need to break down the maltose and the maltotriose.
Interesting. You have to trick them.
So they will break. They will just it's like going through a lot of young blondes. We're not going to go worry about having condoms to do the MILFs.
No, we're just going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. So then they're going to peter out, and they're going to be done.
I've petered out a million times. If I could count.
But if you
this is radio gold here.
It goes more with if you feed the kids dessert first, they're not going to eat the main meal.
Okay. So you literally are kind of tricking them.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you've done so in other words, in your recipe where you've built the mash and the malt,
right.
You've gotten to 1 gravity. What is the gravity, for example, the OG gravity of your recipe without the sugar?
Without the sugar, it's about 1060.
1060.
About, and then you start adding
So you
sugar.
start fermentation with your 1060 wort.
Yes.
And then...
Yeah. So then I let it ferment until it starts to slow, and then I will make basically a sugar soup.
Right.
I'll boil water with just enough water to dissolve maybe a pound of sugar in.
What are we talking here? Table sugar?
I like corn sugar, but if you really want to be sticklers with it, and I have before about using beet sugar, which is candy sugar.
Okay.
It's real easy, and you get a little bit different profile with it.
Okay.
But with this, it's a golden strong. I want clean. So corn sugar works real well for that.
So that would be C&H versus
it's corn sugar.
Beet sugar is the cheap stuff, right? That's the off-brand at the store, right?
Yeah, the corn sugar is your dextrose. Your cane sugar is your C&H.
Okay.
Your beet sugar is going to be your candy sugar, or your Belgian candy sugar,
which you can buy either in liquid or candy form. Yeah.
And with this beer, I want clean champagne, a nice blonde feel to it. I don't want to have a big brain on it. So,
right.
So corn sugar's cheap. You can get it at any homebrew shop. It's a lot easier.
Okay.
But don't feed them all at once. So I'll boil a little bit of water, maybe a cup of water. You can really get a lot of sugar into that cup of water.
Yep. And then just pour that right in.
You pour it in about day 3.
Okay.
And about day 4 or 5, you do it again and again. You amazing how fast that fermentation just kicks back up.
Got it.
And
okay.
Is it really obvious the difference? It's not just that sugar is sugar. You really can tell the difference between your cane sugars and your...
in this kind of beer, because it's a very light beer, in a big double, no, you're not gonna taste the difference. But maybe you can. It won't be as clean. But you want to have that in a big double. You want to have that little oomph that you're going to get out of a Belgian candy sugar. But with this one, it's just kind of a wasted thing. I want a very clean flavor out of this one.
Okay. All right. Well, I can taste the dryness. I think it worked.
Well, that's what I want. I want it dry. You get a hint of sweetness. You want effervescence.
Yeah.
A happy yellow beer. You drink this for breakfast, wouldn't you?
It's a happy yellow beer. Yeah. It's got a little sweetness to it.
So that's alcohol sweetness.
It's alcohol sweet. I think you're right.
But there's no like higher alcohol sweetness.
Right.
No, it's really clean.
There's no headache esters or phenols rather coming off of there.
Right.
There's a little bit of clove flavor.
Yeah.
Definitely some clove. Nice.
But you know what?
Comfortable.
As opposed as I am to the clove flavor, I like it in this beer. I think it's nice.
Yeah,
I think it's right there. This is a good Belgian blonde. Yeah, Belgian Golden Strong. Sorry,
I really tried to get less of the clove out of this one, and I really tried to ferment it down low.
Okay,
and it still came out.
So, what do you think that is?
Probably the yeast. I used the Golden Strong yeast.
The White Labs.
Yeah, it was the 570.
Okay.
And had I used a different one,
you might have gotten it might be a strain thing. You're saying?
I could be. I'll bet it's a strain thing because I fermented this thing solid.
Okay.
At in the mid-low 60s.
Okay.
I did not let it just free rise on its own.
Right.
And I was surprised that I got the pear, the peach, and the clove out of this thing.
Yeah.
That I did.
Although it's a nice combination.
I really like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about it.
It gets knocked down in competition.
Oh, I see.
Because
it doesn't fit the style.
If you have a Duvel, that's the kind of standard for this style. That's the Cadillac that the judges judge it against. It's a bit cleaner. That's all. And some people would say it's less interesting because of that.
Yeah.
But it's the style that it's judged against.
Now, when you say you don't do the clove, Jay, do you not do it in beer, or do you just not like clove
I
in
hate
general?
the clove flavor.
Okay.
Ironically, being the douchebag hippie that I am, I used to smoke the clove cigarettes all the time. Oh, I loved them.
You were bumming them off of Terrence?
Yeah. But other than that, I don't like it. I don't like it in ham. You put the fucking cloves in the ham. Yeah. And I don't like it in... I don't like Hefeweizen for that reason.
As like a garnish on hot chocolate.
I don't like it.
It's not hot chocolate, like apple cider.
I never like it.
I like clove gum. It's out there. I love clove gum. I cannot even be around a clove cigarette. It makes me ill.
Huh.
Now,
but
if this beer didn't have the clean, kind of crisp wheat character to it, and higher alcohol, in other words, if it were closer to a Hefeweizen, like a German Hef, I wouldn't like it. I'd have to tell Doc, well, it tastes too much like clove. But because it has those other crisp characteristics, I like it.
It's more balanced.
It's fine. It's balanced, yeah. And it actually adds, it makes it interesting. And that's kind of what I'm saying, is that the Duvel that it would be compared against, which, by the way, is wonderful, is a little less interesting because it doesn't have an extra thing. You will not find clove in a Duvel.
No, you won't. But there's other beers that are Golden Strong, like Lucifer, Delirium Tremens, Oregon, Avery, Salvation, and they lump North Coast Prankster in with this one.
Oh, really?
And I love Prankster, but I don't think it's anywhere close to this.
Yeah. I think you're right about that. I wouldn't have lumped it into that either.
But
it's there, yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
And Prankster is a good beer.
I like Prankster, but it's about 5 or 10 Lovibond darker than this. It's a lot thicker and it's a lot sweeter.
Now, the other thing that your beer has that I really enjoy is mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the carbonation that you're going for, it still has a nice mouthfeel to it.
At 10:09 or what did it finish at?
It could be very thin.
Oh, it could be very thin.
But it's not. And that's a good quality that you have there, too.
I'm just glad we found this in my cellar. Like, oh, God, look at that.
Yeah. Well, I like it. It's a good beer.
Is there any more of it?
Yep.
Pass it over.
Oh, no, I have to open another one. I actually tasted a whole bunch.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, see, this is how I know.
That's all I'm going to drink the rest of the night,
it.
and that should be plenty.
I'll open the other one, or we can give it to
we got more, right?
Let's do this. Why don't we take our last break, and when we come back, Doc has prepared for us the different types of yeast that you could use and that are available to homebrewers. But not just that, where they come from, kind of the source of which Belgian source that they come from.
Yeah, basically the different Belgian strains that we get from White Labs or Y Yeast, and more or less the parent structure that they came from, which brewery they came from.
Perfect. So let's do that. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up. If you want to call in for Drunk of the Week, 888-401-BEER. Do that. Also, Doc will walk us through the different yeasts you can buy and where they came from. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
All right, BN Army, it's trivia time. What's the only homebrew shop with over 1,000 recipe kits, $4.99 shipping on orders over $100, and is also home of the Wolf Shirt? The one and only answer is Austin Homebrew Supply. For over 20 years, they've specialized in creating recipes such as the best-selling Texas Blonde Ale, Apocalypso, Hop Bomb 2.0, and Double Chocolate Stout. And they just recently unveiled their small grain kits that produce 1 gallon of beer. Visit AustinHomebrew.com to browse their extensive catalog of equipment and ingredients. They also have mini clone recipes of your favorite commercial beers. They're the exclusive retailer of BrewVent Yeast Fuel as well, Yeast Nutrient, and the all-new Bodybuilder. Follow Austin Homebrew Supply on Google Plus to participate in video hangouts on popular brewing topics. So visit AustinHomebrew.com today and make sure you sign up for their weekly email with news and specials. Austin Homebrew Supply, AustinHomebrew.com.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for any beer style. I want a Cicerone. The Cicerone certification program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious, Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
When Michael Fairbrother started moonlighting, he had no idea how quickly his dream was going to grow. Having homebrewed for 15 years, Michael decided to go pro, but not with beer. While attending his homebrew club meetings, he saw ladies knocking their men out of the way to try his mead. Moonlight Meadery is now 2 years old and can produce 200,000 bottles a year. It's the first New Hampshire winery to ever distribute to California and Australia. In fact, you can now find Moonlight Meadery meads distributed nationwide. And they ship direct, too. They produce 56 different varieties of mead and are unlike anything you've ever seen on the market. Michael Fairbrother at Moonlight Meadery is a real success story that can make the BN Army proud. Visit Moonlight Meadery in Londonderry, New Hampshire, or online at moonlightmeadery.com. Moonlight Meadery. Romance in a glass. Did you know the Brewing Network's very own Code Writin' Fool's son, Ryan Wolf, has opened a beer mecca in Missouri? The Wolfbrow House of Beer has hundreds of beers from all over the world and is conveniently close to I-70 in St. Peter's. Free tastings, Saturdays 4 to 6 p.m., featuring special guests from local breweries. The best build-your-own six-pack around, with every style represented. And kegged craft beer available for your kegerator, too. There's always something new at the Wolfbrow House of Beer. New and hard to find beer every week. No two visits are the same. Just like passing out at the Rat Pad.
Hi, this is Ryan from Wolfbrow House of Beer. Mention the Brewing Network when you stop in for some cool free stuff. Mention JP for a swift kick in the ass.
The Wolfbrow House of Beer. Beer with personal service from a member of the BN Army.
This is Code. Visit my son's shop or I'll yank the BN website down.
www.wolfbrow.com. Here's a bite for beer lovers. Soft caramel made with real craft brew and coated in chocolate. And Hop Drops, hard candies made with real hop oil. Introducing Beer Candy from beercandy.com. Beer Candy's amazing caramels come in 4 mouth-watering flavors. IPA, bitter gold, wrapped in smooth white chocolate. Lager, made with a familiar beer from Boston and coated in milk chocolate. Lambic, soury Belgian goodness full of fresh raspberry and dipped in dark chocolate. And Stout, roasty cocoa chocolate insanity. Hop Drops are made with Fuggles or Cascade hops and are known as the candy that bites you back. Choose from sampler and full sizes of both and make your mouth jump to life. All at beercandy.com. Hop Drops and beer caramels. Satisfy your sweet tooth as only a beer lover could with Beer Candy. Visit beercandy.com today.
Live. Beer Radio. The Brewing Network.
The Brewcasters.
If you're just starting, don't be discouraged by all this stuff. It's so easy.
Just throw it together.
Put some sugar and some water and some yeast in there.
Yeah.
Brewing Network.
There at home, you're wondering what's going on. And me, I might seem distant 'cause I'm gone. Take a little time out, you come into yourself, don't let it go south. You can put it on the shelf and scream and shout, 'cause it's better for your health. You never should have opened up your mouth. Take a little time out, you come into yourself, don't let it go south. You can put it on the shelf and scream and shout, 'cause it's better for your health. You never should have opened up your mouth. I'll try to calm myself down. Been running, trying to play with this whole town. I'm strange, the strangest one around. I'm in the deep end of my senses and I'll drown. Take a little time out, you come into yourself, don't let it go south. You can put it on the shelf and scream and shout, 'cause it's better for your health. You never should have opened up your mouth. Take a little time out, you come into yourself, don't let it go south. You can put it on the shelf and scream and shout, 'cause it's better for your health. You never should have opened up your mouth. billowing over, billowing over, billowing over, billowing over. I told him I'd try to knock it off. Turned around and just turned it up a notch. Keep cooking cause some of us like it hot. Think you're really one of them. Chances are you're not. Think you're really one of them. Chances are you're not. Chances are you're not. Chances are you're not. Chances are you're not.
When he came out, he was just a calm little guy. He just, it was like we disturbed his world. No crying. He just came out and he was just kind of, I don't know, he was very content.
Anything other than perfect is gonna be reason enough for my demons to hate me. Cause lately the voices are rising and volume beginning to alter my mood into crazy. In the nick of it, live in the thick of it. Sick of it, sell you a brick of it. That's the road that I've been taking. That's the road that I've been taking. Bright and strong, universal shine. As the day is long, hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind.
Brewcasters are back.
888-401 beer.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's my good friend Forrest Day. You can check him out online. Just search Forrest Day. He plays our events. He's a badass. He makes good music. That was Hyperactive Mind off of his last album, Forrest Day. Check it out. I'm also looking at my good friend and producer Moskowitz's brother's photo on my wall, and I love it.
It looks
great. It's a great photo of the Bay Bridge. It's like looking from the East Bay over to San Francisco, and I've always been an East Bay kid. I never lived in SF. I'm an East Bay guy. What's your brother's name, and where can people find his fantastic photography?
His name is Adam. He shares a last name, weirdly. Adam Moskowitz, amoskowitz.com, which I actually find more fun than his website is his Tumblr feed. amoskowitz.tumblr.com. It's fun to follow every day. He's always posting awesome-looking stuff.
All right, go check it out.
And
amoskowitz.tumblr.com, and I love this photo. I get to look at it, and I'm not a Golden Gate Bridge guy. I'm a little old school for that, although it's an older bridge, I suppose. But it's too fancy for me. I like things a bit dirty and grungy, like Pacheco and Martinez.
Yeah.
And to me, the East Bay Bridge fits that, and that's the photo that we have from your brother on our wall.
It's more industrial and less glitzy.
Yeah, it's more real and less douchey, is how I like to put it. Although some people might put it the opposite way. It's more douchey and less artistic or something. I don't know. But I love it. So go check them out over there. All right. Just a couple of things left to do. If you want to call in for Drunk of the Week, do it right now. 888-401-BEER. And we'll finish those things up right now. 888-401-BEER. Susie Q is taking your phone calls over there. Be nice to her. She's been nice to us. She's got a long drive to come down here to beautiful Martinez from wherever the fuck she lives.
Well, she has big booties.
Where do you live again? On Mars?
Yep.
Thought so. It's really far.
I thought it was Venus. Aren't we from Mars?
Mars and Venus.
That's true. We are Martians here. A couple of things left to finish. We are wrapping up a talk on the Belgian beer with Doc. And Doc, I know we did just open up another beer of yours, but before we do that, let's talk about the different yeasts, because there are different ways to do the Belgian Golden Strong.
Yes.
Okay.
With this one, I had a lot of trouble keeping down the clove and the esters, even though I really fermented really low at 65 degrees.
Yeah.
And you can tell they still came through. But they were still subdued. They were nice, but not as much as I would have wanted to in a Belgian Golden.
Okay.
So, and that was using the Belgian Golden yeast. It was the 570 from Y yeast.
From Y yeast.
From White Lab.
White Lab. Okay.
And that was the Duvel, basically.
Okay.
So we've got other ones that we can use. One of my favorite ones is the Abbey yeast.
Well, let me just, if I can, if you don't mind, Doug, let me just read the description of the 570.
Okay.
A little bit, because I think it's interesting for people to be able to hear that you might be able to produce a strong peppery phenolic with a balanced orange, and lemon-like ester. The strain attenuates well, but it's been known to slow to ferment and flocculate, to drop out at the end there. And I think you might find that in your beer, too, a little slow to flocculate.
Well, it got tossed around here.
Getting up here.
It's a tosser.
Okay. So just something to think about. And I like the descriptions of these yeast. And by the way, when you're picking yeast, pay attention to these descriptions, because if you do it right, the descriptions aren't false. They're not just pulling these out of the air.
Well, the ones you're reading here are not the ones... I made a point to not pull the ones that were off the yeast website.
Okay.
These are more from forums and...
People's use.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
All right. So that's the White Labs 570. What else, Doc?
I like the Abbey yeast, and or the Trappist, the 500. Those are some of my go-to ones. The Belgian Ale one, the 550. I'm a White Labs guy, so it's more attainable for me. It's right there when I want it. The 530 I really like.
So
that's the West Mall. Is the 530.
Got it.
That's probably my second go-to.
So White Labs 530 Abbey Ale, a predominant ester character, complex and reminiscent of pears, bubblegum, plums, and citrus fruits, which actually yours has some of that.
Those are. I love that in a beer. Yeah. That's why I like the Hefeweizens. Because they've got certain ones have the bubble gummy, and they have the pears and the plums.
Okay. It goes on to say that the peppery, spicy, phenolic character melds well behind the esters, and at higher temperatures, these yeasts can contribute some banana into the ester profile. At low temperatures, lower than 66 degrees, that is, this yeast can go into permanent hibernation.
Exactly.
So you have to be careful.
You got to be careful. Most yeast don't like to be cycled up and down. They don't know what's happening to them. They go nuts. They say, "Oh my God, let's go to hibernation because we gotta preserve ourselves."
Right.
And we're maybe they don't know if they're freezing. It's going to keep going down lower and lower. So they put up a wall. They put up the glycogen. Stuff that's going to make them survive.
Right.
But they're going to stop. Doing your fermentation. So don't do anything fast with these guys.
But when you say permanent hibernation, how is that different than death?
It's not.
It means you're probably not going to rouse them again.
Yeah. So it's not. In the case of this, it's not different than death. In other words, you won't get them to keep doing their business.
So you're going to have to repitch at a different temperature. They set up. They put a coat over their cell wall.
Yeah.
They do things that. You can't coax them back into hey, let's play again.
Right.
And
I'm a lot like this. Like if I'm going at it and I'm about to finish and I'm made to stop for whatever reason.
You mean the lights come on?
Yeah, or whatever happens, maybe she's not done yet. I give a shit.
Or somebody farts.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, slow down, and then I'm like, well, slow down, really? Because I could just go to sleep now. I can't stop.
Don't
now.
Coach me. You're not the boss of me.
I gotta. It's now or never. Anyway, I'm similar.
So a lot of these yeasts have their own little finicky thing to them.
Yeah.
And the main ones I've always played with are always the 500, the 570, and the 530.
Okay.
The other ones, not so much. I've used them.
You've used the Bastogne, for example, the 510?
Yeah. Yes.
That's the Orval.
Uh-huh.
And
well, the Orval is your main yeast.
Yeah.
That you ferment through, and then you're going to throw in your Brett after that.
Okay.
So, most of these you are a yeast wrangler, and you're going to be able to make them do what you want them to do. But each one's a different thing.
But your favorite is what?
It's the Abbey, the 530. That's my favorite because I can steer it wherever I want it to go.
And that comes from the Westmalle Abbey.
Yes,
so.
Westmalle's one of my favorite beers.
Okay,
it really is. Because it's more estery than the phenolic. It's got a lot more of the pears. It's got more of the bubblegum, the plums, and less of the sharp peppery things, but it's got enough. It's got enough there that it balances out.
When I think of Westmalle, I don't think of Belgian Golden Strong. I think
no.
of dark.
I'm just talking about just in my Belgian general
I see.
Brewing thing.
So you wouldn't use the 530 for a Belgian Golden Strong,
No,
or would you?
No, I wouldn't.
All right. What's your favorite Belgian Golden Strong? What do you think?
The 570.
The 570. I would go to that first. Maybe the 550.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
But when we're talking about steering yeast and which way you want to go,
yeah, I see.
Your best bet is to go with what they suggest first, and then start steering it. It's usually temperature, and the other thing is oxygenation and pitching strength.
Okay.
So, if you're into like really trying to work your way into a Belgian ale and making it what you want,
yeah,
that stick with one kind of thing and learn how it likes to behave.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like a good start to do a nice Belgian Golden Strong. And as we move on, Doc poured us a I think a Belgian Quad.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Belgian Quad. And
God damn it.
What do you think?
God damn it. That's good.
I'm going to borrow your bicycle and ride home.
Susie's going to ride home, dude.
Yeah, I've got a few of these out. This is just... I gave up on this one about a year ago. I thought, it wasn't what I wanted. And it just, in the bottle, just matured to...
Oh, it's got those kind of...
the plum.
You smell it, and you think it's going to be the sweetest thing in the world.
Hey, no.
But then it's not.
Basementy... this is a... How old's this beer?
Oh, this has got to be like 2.5 years old.
Oh, man.
Maybe 3.
It's going to make me want to sleep for 2.5 years.
Now, that's hibernation.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah. By the way, that's easy for me.
But this is just I had given up on this one. And I had a case of these corked and caged ones that I had like tucked away, and I've been pulling them out, going, whoa.
Wait, you gave up on it? Why? Did you say?
It wasn't what I wanted, but I'm not going to throw it out because I went on all the trouble of corked and caging, and this is I don't think this is a blend of like 3 different beers with 3 different fermentations, and it all went back into one keg, and then I repitched and then corked and caged this one.
Oh.
What about it wasn't what you wanted?
I know.
It's fantastic.
I mean, it was obviously different than this. So what was
when I started, it was way too sweet, and it just had some phenolics that I didn't like.
Not anymore.
Yeah, it smells like it's going to be that, and then it's not.
It smells like that, but now it's just like.
This beer makes me know I'm going to eat Jack in the Box later tonight. And the reason I know that is, you know what I'm saying? It's not fantastic. It's the opposite. It's like, I love this. I'll feel good enough to eat
your
fucking
judgment.
Jack
It's all about your judgment being fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
this turned out.
The willpower is gone. It's not even about the beer in it.
No,
it's the alcohol only.
Eating Jack in the Box later.
This turned out like your friend's little ugly sister.
Those egg rolls.
You just wrote her off a long time ago.
But then she turned out to be.
Oh no, you went off to college and you come back. I was like, wow.
Your friend. You should change it. By the way, when you enter this beer to nationals, it's called your friend's little ugly sister.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phones. We got Garrod on the line. What's happening, buddy?
Sorry, Justin, to call in 2 weeks in a row.
That's all right. How are you, buddy?
I've got to say that Doc has got some brewing information there. It's fantastic.
The man's kicking ass for a couple weeks, isn't he?
He certainly is. Hey, talking about the ugly cousin as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, the
ugly little sister, yes.
Yeah.
I went to a funeral of my uncle. He died a little while ago, and when I was at the funeral, I saw this hot chick, and it turns out it was my cousin. And when she was young, it was like, she was all spotty and redheaded and whatever else, but it was like, holy shit, didn't she turn out well? Much the same as Doc's beer, you know?
Was she your first cousin?
Yeah, so it's not legal.
No, that's too bad.
Even in Australia?
It's still okay. I mean,
you can make out.
What do you mean legal? What do you want to do?
Put it in.
It's what I love about dudes. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a funeral and it's your family. She's hot. She's hot.
Listen, we could be in the middle of the most grief we've ever had, if a hot redhead walks by, we're going to fucking notice. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, too, it gets a little bit nastier than that because it turns out that she gave birth a week before. We even saw her, you know.
And she still looked
so
good.
There's plenty of room, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well done, Grod. I'm proud of you.
But anyway, I went to a beer festival on Saturday, which is 2 days ago for me, at Maitland Jail. And it was called Bitter and Twisted. And I ran into some guys there that were wearing some BN merch. And we started talking about the Alabama legislature.
Yeah.
And pissing ourselves laughing with the entertainment you gave us for that.
Oh, good. Well, I think it's a...
yeah, you sound really happy with that.
Yeah,
he was distracted, Rod. He was writing something.
I'm writing things down, but
he really is amused by what you said.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'm sure he is, Moscow. Yeah.
I can see his face.
See how amused I am.
All right, I'll let you go and get on to some other stuff, eh?
Grod, love you, brother. Thanks, man.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Bye.
Later. There you go, the great Grod.
I feel like I should have talked over him more since I'm sitting in JP's chair and. He's fond of talking over.
Well, just talking over him, just not good enough. You got to insult him too,
right?
In a low key way.
Of course.
Can people call in twice tonight since JP's not here?
No, it's against the rules, man. Those are the rules.
No.
If had you announced that JP wasn't here, I'm surprised our telephone lines aren't just crashed.
Well, let's stick with the phones. We've got Theo Brew on line one. Of course, calling in for Drunk of the Week. Theo Brew.
Spread the good word of the Lord.
Of course.
How are you, dude?
I have two things. First, I just want to say that Doc is my hero.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
In many ways, more than one.
I'm not going to go past that point.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey, if we meet up face to face, you can let me in on that.
Right. Just don't touch his penis.
I don't want to touch his penis.
Yeah, you do.
But I do want to touch his bottle.
Yeah, don't we all? All right. Go on. What's point number 2?
Point number 2 is, 5 IPA Cigar Cities, which are at 7.5%.
Oh.
1 bomber, 750 milliliter of Cigar City Improv, which is a 9% brown /oat /rye /India /brown ale. It's crazy.
It's a lot of slashes.
It is a lot of slashes. Look it up, Improv. 1, the thing that's jizz in your mouth. That is the deliciousness. That is.
I'm giggling. I'm sorry.
It is. Have you guys had the stinking what's it called? This creme brulee stout.
Jizz in your mouth. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
What brewery? What?
It's a creme brulee stout, not jizz in your mouth.
Right.
Wait, what brewery? What brewery?
It's Southern Tier.
Oh. No, I haven't.
It's a 9% Southern Tier creme brulee stout. Jizz in your mouth, beautifulness.
You want to ship us some? We can't get that here.
You can't get that? Okay. I talked to JP, but JP's an asshole.
Right.
Like the song.
Yeah, exactly.
Songs,
JP,
many songs.
Okay, so who do I...
Lock eyes from across the room. Down my
Go ahead, we're listening.
Who do I email to get an address?
No need here for the silly games. Make our way through the smoking crowd. The club is the sky.
You can email me, Moscow. I'll bring it in for everybody. I swear.
Touch and the angels cry. Leave this place, go back to yours. Our lips first touch outside your doors. The whole night, what we've got in store. Whisper in my ear that you want some more, and I jizz in my pants. This really never happened. You can take my word. I won't apologize. That's just absurd. Mainly your fault for the way that you dance, and now I jizz in my pants. Don't tell your friends or I'll say you're a slut. Plus it's your fault you were rubbing my butt. I'm very sensitive.
Theo, don't you worry that you're going to hell, for example?
No,
No, okay. I'll talk to you about this later. But I've got like the Bible has many places where it talks about how Psalm 104. Look it up.
All right.
God made wine for the pleasurement of humans.
Yeah, but don't you think you take it to the extreme? I mean, every week, and it's a lot of wine, and drunk of the
I didn't
week.
call in last week.
Oh, well, then I take it all back.
Oh, well, then God takes it all back.
Yeah,
you're cool.
never mind. Carry on, Theo.
And then, wait, was it Noah Wino?
Yeah, he was.
That was a wino.
I mean, don't listen. I'm just asking because I'm genuinely curious. But look, I will go to your congregation any fucking day of the week. I mean,
No, like, okay, so, yes, I'm a little drunk now, and I've been a lot of drunk in the past.
Right.
And, but, like...
I mean, you had like 8 different beers tonight that were over 5%.
Let me put it into words for Theo. A problem is not defined by the amount consumed. A problem is defined by continued use in the face of negative consequences. So, Theo, have you been experiencing negative consequences in your life?
Look at the brain on Moscow. I love this kid.
No, he's all about negativity.
I mean that question. Have you, Theo?
No, but I also haven't been drinking Minishevitz.
I don't understand.
Oh, please.
All right, Theo. Well, anything else? Can we, should we call and vote for you? Or do you get voted into the church? I don't know how that works.
No, you can get voted out, though.
Do we have to vote for Theo on Tuesday for being the new priest? I don't know what happened.
No, in a year and a half, I'll get back to you.
I see.
So where
you
is
can
he?
tell what I know about religion.
What town are you in?
Wait, what town am I in?
Yeah.
I'll say I'm in the Tampa Bay area, Florida. What?
No, I was going to say, we'll all come to visit you, but I ain't going to Florida.
You imagine us all showing up on Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Hi.
To see Theo. What the hell?
Best day ever.
What are you people doing here? Oh, we're here to see Theo.
He said he has some wine.
Yeah, we're here for the wine.
I'm parched.
We don't do wine, unfortunately, but I am teaching members of my congregation how to homebrew.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, we'll just bring some kegs and we'll set them up in the back.
I'm spreading the gospel.
He's like Terrence, but extra fucked up.
Really?
I don't have kids like Terrence does. He's got to be more mature than me.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Theo, you're in the running once again.
Thanks.
Later, brother.
Bye.
All right, we've also got Casanzo on the line. Casanzo is from Utah, calling in. He says, I think what is this? His motto, Susie?
What I remember from him talking.
Like trashy women, Mormons are tight.
No, muumuus.
Muumuu.
He likes trashy women and tight muumuus on women.
Thank you. Maybe you should just say it. I can't.
If you have to wear a muumuu, it should not be.
Got that totally wrong. Like trashy women, Mormons are. What does that even mean? I don't know. Casanzo, what's happening?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm just drunk.
I'm okay. I'm in my basement. And
How's that Mitt
I'm not in my basement. My basement isn't finished. I'm just hanging out upstairs being drunk with the TV.
Just you and the TV? Because,
on the TV.
That's just sad that your basement is not finished.
Do you have a Mitt Romney cutout in your living room?
I'm undecided.
What makes you ask that question?
It's a fucking Mormon state. He's the only Mormon presidential candidate in history. Right. You gotta, if you're from Utah, you gotta have a Mitt cutout. You know.
Yeah, you do. But
you didn't show up that day to get your Mitt cutout.
I missed that.
Well, that's too bad. Well, what have you had to drink tonight, Casanzo?
Oh man, I've had a few drinks.
Yeah.
I've been drinking some Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah, how many of those?
A few of those. Oh, probably 9.
9's good.
Yeah.
9, and then I've had I've had like 4 bombers of my own.
Okay. Well, what was it? What kind of beer was it?
It was like a Citra Pale Ale type deal. I don't know what it was, but it's strong and it's good.
I like that.
So it's sort of like Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, I was going to say Citra Pale Ale, except with Citra.
It was like maybe I had like 16 Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah, okay. Let's just put
Went
it in
from 9.
context. Yeah, probably 16 Sierra Nevadas.
Costanzo, are you white?
Yeah.
Look,
Because he
he's
sounds
Mormon.
I know, but he doesn't.
Ish.
He sounds like he doesn't sound white to me.
It's because Costanzo rhymes with Alonzo, which is a black name, and it's
Is that
My wife's last name is Alfonso.
Costanzo Alfonso.
Well, that's not it.
Is she
That's
white?
not it. No, she's not white.
I just for some reason I felt like he was not white, but he was trying to sound white. For some,
What
I don't
does
know.
not white sound like?
Well, you know what it sounds like, Susie.
Sort of like you, Susie.
Fucking sounds like you.
Damn it.
Sounds like you and Terrence.
Oh,
Damn.
Good shit.
Wow.
Is,
All right.
is Sierra Nevada your normal go-to?
Oh, our options in Utah are limited.
More importantly, how much do you weigh?
Oh, I weigh like 214.
How tall are you? Like 3 foot?
Yeah, I'm about 3 foot, like maybe 5'9".
So you don't even make it over the snowdrift.
Yeah.
Wait, I love Doc. What did he say?
He's got your back, that's all.
Yeah.
All right, well, Costanzo, you sound drunk to me, dude.
I'm pretty drunk, man. I've been trying all day long.
You got a family?
Just my wife and I and the dog.
What kind of dog you got?
A white one.
I got a pit bull.
Not a boy. Oh, I like that. Has he eaten any babies lately? They do that, you know. I've heard.
Everything else but.
Yeah, of
What
course.
color is it?
He's brown and white. I don't know.
Racist.
Mostly white, right?
He better be.
What's your wife doing right now?
She's sitting on the couch flipping me off.
I was going to say hating you.
All right.
Basically.
Hating you.
Has she been drinking?
She said she's not wearing a fucking moo-moo.
Well, that a girl. What is she? While we're on it, what is she wearing?
A tarpaulin.
She's wearing a tank top.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll leave her alone. Yeah.
No, she likes it. It's good. It's good fun.
No, well, then put her on the phone.
If she'd like to get on the phone.
You want to talk to her for a minute?
Yeah, let me talk to her.
All right, here she is. Hold on a minute.
That middle
She's
finger
trying to
means
run
no.
away, but we're going to catch her. Hold on. Can you hear her running away? Hold on.
Oh, hell no!
Hey!
If you tackle her,
just
that means
hold on.
yes.
Let me get her on the phone. Hold on. Here she is. Here she is.
He's rusty.
Hello.
Why, hello.
Hey there.
Hi.
Sorry to bother you.
Oh, it's okay. I'm, just watching my husband get drunk for this drunk of the week thing.
Well, listen.
Are you an enabler?
Yeah.
How do you know he's drunk?
I totally am an enabler.
Thank you.
Well, now.
I'm sure it's much more entertaining to talk to my drunk husband, so here he is.
Wait.
Oh, no.
We need an opinion from you.
Hang on a second.
All right.
How do we know? Because we don't know. We've never met him before. What behavior is he doing that lets us know he's actually drunk?
Did you hear the way he's talking and how loud he talks?
No. Mostly what
does he
you
normally
notice?
do?
What
Yeah.
do you notice that, oh, yeah,
What do
he's
you know
hammered?
that nobody else knows that you're like, oh, shit, he's drunk again?
When he can talk about anything for 20 minutes at a time. We were talking about freaking bagged soup today. I think he talked about it for like 20 freaking minutes about what a good deal we got on some bagged soup from Winco.
He's on the drive home going, God damn it, we have never gotten such a good deal on soup.
Exactly.
I mean, you might remember last year we kind of got a good deal, but we didn't get it. We not like this year.
You know what, my cousin thought they got a good deal.
All right,
I think you got it.
That's fair enough.
All right.
What's your name?
Louisa.
Louisa, thanks for talking to us. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Bye. All right. Well,
she understands.
She understands.
Hello?
Hey, listen. Based on Louisa's recommendation, Costanzo, you're now in the running for Drunk of the Week.
I think so.
Sweet, I better be.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers, man.
How was the soup?
All right.
That's a weird one. Louisa? That's a weird name, isn't it?
Yeah, she's
you ever heard that name? Louisa?
white.
Oh, yeah.
No.
It's older than you.
Louisa.
All right, let's go to Grim from Mississippi. Grim, what's happening?
Oh, not a whole lot, fellas. How y'all?
We're doing all right. How's Mississippi treating you?
Well, for the homebrew world, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I bet.
One Mississippi.
I'm glad to see you're not in jail.
Nah, hell, they'd leave us alone. I mean, hell, we got a couple homebrew clubs. In fact, this coming weekend's a homebrew competition in Hattiesburg.
Oh, is that right? Oh, so you guys, you're like, fuck it, we'll do it anyway.
Is that like an illegal event? It is like an illegal event, right?
It is. No, it's illegal. It's called the Outlaw Homebrew Club.
They just call it what it is. Fuck it.
I love it.
They're going to be all be in jail eventually. Might as well, right?
Yeah, the state senators are going to be there.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck them. But either way, I'm not real sure. Anyway, the pub that's hosting the thing, I don't even think they've got a license, and they brew on premises. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
how's that happen?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds edgy.
Yeah. Now, what do you do? You don't have work tomorrow, or what?
No, I got vacation tomorrow, so it's like the first time I've ever been able to like hang out with you guys.
Oh, that a boy.
I've listened to your podcast a bunch, but never had the opportunity to watch it live.
So what's
You're
what?
Like,
how disappointing was it?
Yeah, how disappointing was it?
No, it was a good time, man. I enjoyed it. Everybody in the chat room was freaking hilarious. So.
Well, that's good. How on a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk are you?
Well, I went out to the garage to pour another pint and ripped my fucking elbow open on the Perlick. So I think I'm pretty drunk.
Yeah, Perlicks are really smooth.
Yeah, they're like smooth. How the hell you rip it open on a Perlick?
You hit it really hard.
Well, I kind of like spun around really fast and just kind of caught the edge of it on the spout.
Oh, man.
Did your second cousin give you a little push?
Look, I'm not from here, man. I just live here.
Oh, I see. Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Maine.
Oh, well, that's where his first cousin is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, we did it up behind the barn.
Yeah, because nobody suspects people in Maine, so it's fine.
Right.
We said we are going to go out and smoke some cigarettes out behind the barn, but we did it.
No. Actually, we were like just going to like check on the cows or something. You know.
Sure.
Now, are you drunk on homebrew or commercial beer?
I started out on some Lazy Magnolia and then switched over to homebrew. And per the suggestions of the guys in the chat room, I started on the Smash, which is a bit stronger than I expected, but it's quite good.
We don't know. Hang on. I don't know what any of these three things are. Being from hippie California, what is Lazy Magnolia?
All right, that's Mississippi local. Well, not local, but it's a brewery. Hell, you guys should be able to buy it. It's commercial.
What kind of beer was it?
It was their Nut Brown.
Okay.
It's pecans, made with pecans. It's pretty good.
Oh, sounds all right. And what was your homebrew that you drank?
It's a Smash. It's Mary Sauter and Galena.
I see. That's what you call Smash.
Well, single malt, single hops, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's an acronym. I get it.
Tasty and Doc are looking bewildered.
Everybody.
I'm trying to put it into what style that would end up being.
That you brew, but I'm just not buying it, man.
Well, I think you're probably right. Single malt, single hops. Guys, it's Smash, you idiots.
Hello.
Single malt, single hop. Okay, I just learned that.
Well, now you've been learned it.
That eluded me.
There
you go. Y'all
from Maine or
schooled.
Mississippi.
Yeah, Grim just schooled us.
Grim, did you make that up?
No, hell.
No, I had heard of it. I wasn't thinking that. I was going way beyond it, going, okay, what's he thinking? What's he thinking? And then it was like, oh, yeah, I got schooled.
Grim, you got a wife?
No, not anymore.
You got a dog?
I got a dog, Black Lab. He digs more fucking holes than,
He's a digger.
Yeah, he's a digger.
What's with that digger?
Crazy digger.
Yeah.
Lazy digger.
What's his name?
Okay. Bradford. Bradford the dog.
I named him after my favorite NASCAR driver.
Bradford.
Remember, I'm not from here, man.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Remember that. Don't forget that, too.
No, that's kind of important. I look around and go, holy shit, I'm glad I'm not from here.
But yet you are from there. Or you wouldn't be from there.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I am now.
What do you do down there, Grim?
I just took a job and ended up working here. Basically, I'm like a maintenance kind of guy.
All right. But you got tomorrow off.
Yeah, got the whole week off, actually.
And you're not from there.
And not from there. Just gonna.
Because any week now, you're going back to Maine.
What are you gonna do all week? You just gonna sit around your house, chill out?
I'm gonna fire up my tractor, of course.
Attaboy. Sweet. Oh, I love me a good stay vacation.
That's right.
Oh, are you gonna drive my tractor next weekend?
Oh shit, yeah, dog. I'll tear some shit up in your tractor.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, Grim, my friend, you are in the running for Drunk of the Week. Thanks for calling, dude.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Take care tonight. I like Grim.
I like the fact that he doesn't know where he's from.
He's like, he knows where he's from. I ain't from here.
I ain't from here. He is from there. But
Wherever
he ain't from
you
there.
are, I ain't from there.
No way.
All right, let's go to Panda, who apparently is calling for help. I don't know if he's calling in for drunk.
Is this Pablo Sandoval?
Panda, what's
That's
happening?
what I was thinking.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
Pablo.
What's going on, man? Turn down the radio and tell me what's happening.
Having a nice long brew day, and I've had like one of the most worst stuck mashes I've ever had.
Oh.
So it definitely is Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah, by the way, Panda, where are you calling from?
Vancouver, BC.
So you were,
So he's having a long fucking brew day. Holy shit.
So you didn't hit the home run.
Three of them.
Yeah, we got started like a little after noon, and
you're still in your
almost
mash?
got the brew kettle filled now.
All right. Tell us about the mash. What's in it?
A lot of
English
dough.
pale malt. The whole mash totals just under 60 pounds. 6 pounds of rye, 2 pounds of wheat.
Making a couple barrels.
Some pale chocolate, and the most of it's made up of maris otter and Vienna malt.
Okay, what's the beer style first?
Barley wine.
Oh, okay. Because we were thinking you were a nut for having 60 pounds of grain in there, but...
And what size vessel is it in?
It's split between 2 kegel mash tuns.
Okay, yeah. So 230s.
And what do you got for bottoms in that? What kind of false bottoms are in there?
I've got one of them's got the one that's really badly stuck is like a 10-inch false bottom, perforated stainless.
Okay, like the kind that you buy and you put in there and connect it to the...
Yeah, it's the weldless one from Morbier.
Right, yeah.
Oh, all right, that's a good false bottom. And they're you can't get liquid out of them.
It's a trickle, like it's a dribbling out of that one.
Okay,
the other one's trickling as well, but it's a little bit better.
What have you done to rectify the situation? What stupid things have you done to rectify it?
Well, first things I did was stirred it a few times.
Okay.
Stirred it, kind of got better, recirculate like a little bit just to get it to stop being stupid cloudy. Blowing back in the out. Did that. Been doing that a bunch because it's like you just get a little rush of fluid after.
Yeah.
I've even tried pumping water, like fresh hot water in, lifting the whole grain bed, and then it worked well for a while, but then it just goes right back to the trickle after like 10 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Are you using a pump?
I'm not pulling it out with a pump. I'm using gravity to pull it out.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes if you use a pump, you're gonna like suck the grain bed down.
Yeah, well, I stopped using the pump for that very reason.
A better way, instead of just stirring it, is just to rake in the vertical motions, just straight, and then try that.
Just pulling it up?
No. Don't pull anything up. Just you want to rake straight down and across and up, and do it all the way across.
That's what I do mostly. Like I've got a thin stainless, like all stainless mash paddle.
Yeah.
So just goes straight down, back and forth.
But
straight down, back and forth.
That's too thin. I use a wooden one, which is a little thicker. It's probably an inch thick, and it actually breaks it up a little bit. You're gonna channel the mash coming through, so you're gonna get less efficiency, but at least it's gonna run.
Okay, but if he did that already, what's next?
No, he did it with a different kind of mash paddle. He basically raked with a straight blade.
Oh.
You got to break. Stirring's not going to do it either,
unless you're stirring in some rice hulls or something.
Yeah. Do you have any rice hulls you could throw in there?
I always throw a pound of rice hulls down before I put anything else in.
All right, so you have some in your mash, but it's still stuck.
Yeah, like right at the bottom.
He doesn't mix them in; he just puts them at the bottom.
Well, they get mixed in it.
How's it doing now?
Well, we've almost got all the our mash our boil volume, but it's been hours.
Yeah,
I'm looking.
The other thing is just to
didn't lauder well. I guess.
Yeah, the other thing is just to when you know it's not coming out, just fill the mash tun back up to it's got about 3-4 inches above, and just let it sit for about 3-4 hours because you're done. You're ready to toss the thing out.
Yeah.
Put enough water in, it's about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Inches above the grain bed, and just let it sit. Go do something else, and then you go graduate your kid or what you got to do, and you come back. And so many times I've done this, and now it starts to flow, but flow it slow, and it will come back out.
Is it because the whole thing kind of just raises up?
Yeah, it does, and it just kind of breaks up the whole dough ball that's in there.
Okay.
But if you use a thin mash paddle, you're not going to get what you want. You want to use a thick mash paddle, push it down, rake it straight across about 4 or 5 times.
What if with my mash paddle I pushed it down and then kind of wiggled it back and forth as I pulled it, just a little bit?
Yeah, or twist it a little bit sideways and pull it. That way you're going to set up. You want to set up some channels. If you channel it, you're going to get the water to go through, but you're not going to get the efficiency that you wanted. But at this point, it's going to be get what I want, but not trash the whole brew day.
Yeah.
But
because by the way, you've hung in there longer than I'm going to hang.
Don't give up by any means. Don't give up because.
I don't know. I've given up.
I spent more than $200 on ingredients today. I'm not going to kick this one over.
So you're going to be up now. You're just about to start boiling, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Like in another hopefully 10 minutes, we're going to be starting to boil.
Oh shit! You got a long night.
Yeah. Well, I'm even set up at my work.
Did you call in
yet? I've got a nice big shop with the bay door, so it's not exactly the most comfortable place to be, but it's good for working.
Well,
is JP there today?
No, he's here. He's here. JP, what do you think about this whole thing?
I will fucking come and paper cut the shit out of your mom in front of you.
Yeah, he's here.
I sent him a pic to his email account just a few moments ago of my wife stirring the mash near the beginning. That will give you not a full view of my system, but at least a partial view. One thing I'm thinking of doing is maybe. Pardon?
Just suck a dick. It doesn't matter.
One thing I was thinking of doing is going to a 15-inch false bottom.
Hang on, before we talk about 15 inches, is your wife topless in the pic that you sent, JP?
Unfortunately, not this time.
No. Well, then he's not here.
No, he's not here.
Give me any credit in this fucking studio at all? No.
So 15-inch, what?
False bottom.
False bottom? So would that help with these kind of things?
Well, sure, the bigger the false bottom,
Well, actually, I have some thoughts about it. Why don't you email me tomorrow, and I've got some things about what might help next. You're already talking about changing the false bottom and this other thing.
But for the listeners who are listening, for that matter,
I got a feeling
a larger false bottom would help, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, I got a feeling that the outflow from his false bottom is a straight down from the middle, and when you have so much weight grain on it, it just smashes it right down, and it does not let it flow out.
Okay.
So if you can drill from the sides, so under the false bottom, but in that fitting, it flows out from the sides because they just screw it into the false bottom, and it just goes straight down.
Right.
And when you put 60 pounds of grain, the whole thing collapses, and it just does not flow.
I see. That makes
it's
sense.
60 pounds of grain.
Yeah.
So,
and in his case, maybe more. He's doing a barley wine, so it's a lot of grain.
you want to drill holes from the side in that inlet that is underneath the false bottom. It really does help.
All right, you can also email Doc. He's doc at thebrewingnetwork.com, and he might be able to help you further.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, one more thing. My job is beer line cleaning.
Yeah. Okay.
I spend my whole day in bars and restaurants making beer lines sparkle.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We mean it.
Yeah. I gave up construction and I went for a job in the beer field because it's where my heart is.
Well, thank you for doing that. You're doing God's work.
Now you're cleaning up other people's messes.
Yeah.
A thankless job because we appreciate it, but so many people just expect it to be that way.
That's right.
Thank you.
Oh my God! When there's a problem and I have to deal with servers being like, why goddamn Budweiser isn't flowing today? Like, why the fuck can't I have my Molson products?
Right.
And I'm just like, if you give me half an hour, I'll actually fix it so it works properly as opposed to, jugs of foam.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, why does this Molson taste like shit? Oh, that's because it's Molson.
That's the way they make it.
You're bitching at me because your tips are less? I don't get tips, bitch.
All right, Panda, thanks for the call, brother. And listen, good luck. I hope your night doesn't take you all night.
No.
That could be rough.
And way to hit those 3 home runs in game 1, man. That made the whole series.
Well done.
Thank you, Panda.
All right.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Do you think he has any idea what I'm talking about?
No,
Not
he's from
clue.
Canada.
Yeah, that's a look.
They don't even know what baseball is up there.
It is the World Series.
So, like, do you mean
That's what they call it.
when they? Oh, the Snowmobile World Series. Yeah, I saw that. It was. Oh man, those guys are fast.
And it got a beaver in the way.
That one guy's engine quit, and he had some Malamutes pulling him. It was great.
Yeah.
Shit. He still managed to finish.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to vote for our Drunk of the Week on this week, November 4th, 2012. We had Theo Brew call in once again. He had 5 7% beers, and I think I wrote this down right. 5 7% beers of some kind, and 3 5% beers after that, and some other fucking beer after that. Not sober. Then we had Costanzo, who had 9 Sierra Nevada Pale Ales, plus 4 of his own Citra.
And they were bombers.
Pale Ale, yeah.
They were bombers.
And I do believe we also spoke to... Was he the one we spoke to his wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was Costanzo. And she also concurred that he was drunk as shit.
Because he talked about shit she didn't want to hear about.
Right.
Again.
And had no intention of speaking to us also.
Well.
And then finally we had Grim call in. Of course, he called in from Mississippi, although he's not from Mississippi. Don't mistake him.
No.
He had a shitload of Lazy Magnolia, which is a Mississippi brewery, apparently.
What's up,
and
sorry?
then a shitload of homebrew that was SMSH, or Smash, or Single Malt, Single Hop, if you're an idiot and you didn't know that.
If you're not informed.
Then
Smash.
Then he had a lot of Smash.
Reagan Smash.
Yeah. Apparently we're all supposed to know the acronyms now. Fucking acronyms.
You don't even know how to spell.
Yeah.
Let alone an acronym.
I don't even know what a fucking acronym is. Moscow told me before the show so that I could write it down and say it here like I knew what it was.
Really? I thought scuba meant scuba.
It doesn't?
No.
It's an acronym.
Shit. See, the next thing you're going to tell me Obama's not an American. He was born in Kenya.
Obama is an acronym.
It's an acronym.
Yeah. All right. So those are our 3 candidates, everybody. Suze, we'll give you 1 vote for each boob, as always. You're already voting right now with your elbows up.
You see your ballots. You just can't tell what's on it.
That's what the Twitter game should have been.
Tasty, we can see your ballots.
Acronym for Obama.
Tasty just voted early.
Twitter game.
Oh, that would have been good. Oh, see, Doc? I should put you in charge of social networking. It's a very busy job.
But I'm not negative enough.
Here. Okay, 3 candidates, 1 vote each, except Sue. Here we go. Theo Brew. poor fucking...
I want to give him one just because he's so
Give
consistent.
him one, will you? Give him a vote, Suze, will you?
I am giving him a vote because
All right.
he's consistent.
He tries.
Sorry.
It's just not hard enough.
Suze is giving you a vote, Theo.
You get the right one.
I mean, the man's ruining his career every week on this program, and he's still not winning Drunk
Hope
of the
the
Week.
bishop's not listening.
We need to go there.
He hasn't won this year, has he?
I don't know.
No, he's
I
got
don't
a
think
medal.
he's.
I think
he did win one time.
He's won.
Okay, he has one.
Has he medaled?
He's going for Drunk of the Year, so I guess he's medaled.
He's
All right, well,
medaled?
Suze voted for Theo Brew. Casanzo. He was our 9 Sierra Nevadas.
I like that he had to chase his
It was
wife.
9 plus 4 bombers.
Yeah, that's 4 more votes, including the Suze, which means Moscow's voting for Grimm for Mississippi.
yeah.
1 vote for Grimm. That means Casanzo is our Drunk of the Week. Yeah, well done, sir. And tell your lovely wife that, she should be proud of you. Send an email to jp@thebrewingnetwork.com, jp@thebrewingnetwork.com. He will send you a Brewing Network prize pack for
will.
your victory today.
Yes, he will.
As Drunk of the Week.
He's doing it right now.
Yeah. Well done, sir. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, Justin.
Do we do Beersmith?
We did. We did.
Yeah.
I think I did.
Okay, then we're good.
Oh, I didn't give out any recipe, did I?
No, you want to give it?
No. But I can. It's real simple.
Do it.
And it's all, it was all from Beersmith anyway, so it's really easy.
There's plenty of guys that are going to hear this recipe and jizz in their pants.
Yeah, so we're talking about Pilsner, and I printed out way too small.
What's the malt bill?
You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
You don't have your glasses?
Yeah.
Shit. Moscow, you're going to have to read it. I don't have my glasses either.
All right. 12 ounces of Carapils, 12 pounds of Pilsner 2-row, 0.75 ounces of Saaz at the beginning, an ounce of Syrian Goldings at 10 minutes, 1.5 ounces of Syrian Goldings at 60 minutes, 3 pounds of corn sugar, and 1 package of the White Labs Belgian Golden Ale yeast.
I used a big starter on that. And all that sugar, I didn't put it in when I was brewing. It was all as the fermentation was going. It slowed down a little bit. We throw it in, keep it going. So do it that way.
Yeah.
Try to keep the fermentation temperature real low. 66, 67. Don't let it go above that. Once it all starts to peter out, push it up to about 72. Let it sit for a while. All the diacetyl will go away.
Okay.
As you're prepping it for fermentation, a lot of oxygen. It's real hard to put a lot of oxygen in a high high gravity wort. Because it just does not want to go into solution. So you really got to really be diligent about pushing it in.
Okay. Beautiful. And there you go. Doc's Belgian Golden Strong. We'll be back next week, continuing Brewvember with a beer judging show with Brian Cooper. And thanks to everybody for hanging out with us. Thanks to Joe Castelloot from Peachtree Brewing Company. Go check them out right now. Thank you for doing the show. And we'll see you next time.